Do you want to be a part of the CoCo community? Sure, we all do. So join this free weekly live talk show to find out how easy it is to watch at home and learn about your color computer. At the CoCoNation, more than 9 million men and women have participated in the community without setting foot outside their homes. And now at home in your spare time, you can see what's happening, or even join the discussion. Choose from any one of these segments: panel intros, project updates, acquisitions, CoCo thoughts, featured interviews and events, the Game On Challenge, news, Ron's Garage, CoCo commercials, show coverage, panel goodbyes, or you can join one of our extra shows. You can choose from the Game On Challenge Live or CoCo Tech. Join the CoCoNation right now.
Click the link for the free information TJB Chris spoke about. Then decide if you want to watch the CoCoNation Live Show, the world's leading live weekly talk show featuring the Tandy Color computer, its siblings, cousins, and redheaded stepchildren. Visit thecoconation.com. There is no obligation and no salesman will visit you. Visit thecoconation.com.
The CoCoNation show is an unscripted, live, and interactive broadcast. Anything can and will happen. The views and opinions expressed by members of the panel and the live audience are their own, and not necessarily those of the CoCoNation show, its sponsors, affiliates, or subsidiaries. Open minds are encouraged, and a sense of humor is recommended. Thank you for being a part of the CoCoNation.
Radio Shack? Okay.
What?
The 80s called.
Welcome to the CoCoNation, the world's first live and interactive talk show featuring the Tandy color computer and its hardware cousins.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the CoCoNation show, episode 460. I'm just wondering what I forgot to do today. We'll find out, I'm sure.
We'll figure it out.
Did you forget to write a script?
No, I've got part of one anyway.
That's not on the list.
But since I don't know who's actually doing the news, I didn't write that part down.
I think Curtis will be here. He's just running late.
Okay.
That's a hopeful thought.
Yeah. Right. Let's think good thoughts.
All right. I do want to check though, make sure we're not muted or echoing or anything. No.
Hello, all you out there in user land.
I think
Are we sounding okay?
Test. 1, 2, 3.
We had an OBS update today that changed all the audio settings and look and everything else, and I hope I got them right.
Exile says no echo here, so Twitch must be good.
So that echo is just in my head?
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
It's just
What?
running around,
What?
bouncing
What?
back
What?
and forth. Okay, in the panel today, we start off with Kevin Holloway.
Hello, everybody.
And next over is your button pusher. And we got Ron Delvo.
Hey, welcome to the show. It's Edie.
Okay, and next row we got Sloopy Malibu.
What's that in the background?
Yeah,
someone's got a
Listening to an
television
infomercial in the background.
on. That's me.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Doesn't matter.
I usually have my muted. I forgot.
Ah,
All right, in center square we got Rick Euland
Oh, jeez. Hi, everyone.
and Marco.
howdy there. Glad to be here today, like usual.
And on the next row we got Henry Strickland.
Users are reluctant to change, so we have to push changes all the harder.
All right, and Ken Waters.
Hello.
And the last on the panel is Bob Emery.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to the show.
Let's see, in the chat, who's been busy already today? We've got Brian Blake, Kevin Holloway, Wayne Campbell, Daddy Burrito, Marco, J.E. Jones, Daddy Burrito, HD63C09EP, Marco, Michael Zwiffel, Brian Blake, Coco Living, Kung Coco Fu. Let's see, and Canadian Retro Things, Jim Rye. Why did the Alice turn red? It's jealous of the Coco. Peter Willard. Richard Gore, the real Mr. Evil DED. Tom Eric Gunderson, Brian Blake, L. Curtis, AWOL, Peter Willard, 8 Bits in the Basement, Bill Athing, Sloopy.
Was not here.
Let's see, Erico, Francisco. This is where it breaks down. Innocent. Okay, something like that.
Innocente.
Innocente, okay. Joe Levacoco. And we're caught up on the chat. Let's see. Okay, OBS, where'd you move things? All right, so that goes off, that goes on. All right. Yes, OBS update. They found some particular reason. They redesigned the mixer. Now it's harder to read and use. Okay, let's we'll start off with Rick.
Okay, sure. So last week, Henry kind of showed us a pretty elegant Y cable expansion for the CoCo, and it reminded me of something I'd done back in the day, and I just wanted to bring it up. And this is not that. What we've done is it has a very special job to do. I had a floppy drive. Cable. I had a floppy drive CoCo in the shop, and I needed to connect it to the office CoCo over 50 feet of serial line. Well, you ain't going to do that with 232C. You're going to need actual minus and plus 12 volts. So that's what this stereo jack's about. We're injecting some 12 volts in there to give it some range and keep the floppy drive hanging off. Kind of funny. This is actually Connect's first product. Dave Meyer's CoCo Pro sold these in place of the Kenton ones because they were like half price. So anyway, yeah, we did that and turned it into I had a cut the end off a hard drive control cable because I only had one MFM drive, so I didn't need the second cable, and that's what made this. We soldered her up and it ran for years. Right. Well, it was the cable. I had pennies to my name, and we had to do something. So I took the mini 232 that I had, and I chopped the end off of a hard drive cable that I was using, but I only had one hard drive, so it donated its end.
What's the date on there?
12/13/92 was the last time it was actually certified to be working. And since then, I stole the ASIA out of it and the 133 out of it because those are the only two worthwhile chips that were in it. Anyway, that was fun. And then good and bad news. I got all my through-hole chips for experimenting with today.
That don't look like no through-hole I'm familiar with.
Those are going to be kind of hard to fit in the
the breadboard.
Yeah, so that's fun.
They make little adapter boards that you solder those onto and then have pins that drop in.
Yeah, it's just more stuff to get. I'll just get some more chips and hopefully get through holes this time.
And then when you go to your production version, you go surface mount and you're fixed.
And I got I got spare parts in case I break something. Besides, I can tell I got the right footprints, so that's always helpful. I'm really good about making production boards that are just a little bit off, and JLC doesn't mention it, and then the stuff shows up, it's a disaster. Any case, I guess that's pretty much all we got going on, except for CoCoFEST map.
Yay.
Only a couple of tables left in the middle.
Jim Brain is wondering when you're going to get that.
Hey, there's my table.
There we go. But I could fit it all on one screen. Sort of. It's the CoCo.
Is Cloud9 by the fire extinguisher?
I think they're down in the bottom right corner of this view.
Where'd he go? Oh, there's everybody. Yeah.
You're being mean.
Hot products, that's all.
So we finally figured out where the side parking and the front lobby were, and it all makes sense now. I probably won't get lost this year. In any case, that's all we have going on new. Getting fast bombs for JLC because they had to change some of their parts. The old parts aren't available. The new parts are.
By the way, Rick, thank you for doing that map. I mean, the map on the Tandulus site's okay, but you got to keep bouncing back and forth. It's nice to be able to just look at the table and go, oh, that's who's there.
They're actually going to adapt my map to the
That's what I heard.
Site eventually. They just didn't have time to this year because, the fest is here and there's no time to be messing with the stupid webpage. But
yeah, you can probably send a static one.
The back of your card links to that, so you can find it on your phone, and we'll probably
have some and then navigate
ones to grab, so you can run around. And you'll notice the printing is all cleverly turned so that whichever way you're facing, you can read that way. So the room's always oriented whichever way you are actually standing.
Standing. Yep.
And then, when you turn around, now you can read these guys. You don't have to flip your phone over. Sorry, I'm an old print guy. I don't think that way.
Crazy cat lady. I didn't know my wife was going.
Interesting. Well, yeah, you learn something new every day.
Who's Griffart? Or am I saying it wrong?
I don't know. That's the only thing we have about them is Griffart.
Griffart. Griffart.
Huh, okay. All right. Next up, let's do Henry.
Okay. And I thought I saw Curtis's face there. Yeah, there he is. Welcome, Curtis.
That's a special guest we'll announce later on.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Running late. What else?
Yeah. So
At least you're here.
it was creating things like Rick just showed that led us to make our fancy Y cable like this. So I will have some of these at CoCoFEST if you're interested. It's getting these things now that's getting the harder part.
right.
They're like
$3 a piece, you say?
$7 for a pair on Amazon, which isn't terrible as long as they continue to get them.
Right.
But all right, and
This is pretty blue color.
second thing I'll show you is gonna be over here, and let's see if screw this on. I've done a call for CoCo artwork. Whoops. For my kiosk. This is leveraging my gaming OS to have a 0-player game where the game displays one image like this, and then after a certain number of seconds, it chains to another game, which is to display another image like this. And I wrote a tool which was originally called Pmode 1 editor, but now it does Pmode 3 and Pmode 4 as well. And if you get on the CoCo Discord and you go into the CoCo Artwork channel, which is near the top, you can find a link to my tool. And if you come up with some artwork for me, I will add it to the queue for the display. I've got a table out in the hallway as well as table on the inside. And the idea is to have unattended demos like this running on our table in the hallway. So you'll see this at CoCoFEST. No parking except for 60-to-9 machines.
I like that one.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun. If you start playing with that Pmode 1 editor and you start to get good at it, it's actually a lot of fun to try to convert images. There's a fourth mode called crop, where you can take any picture and crop it down to the right aspect ratio before you try to reduce it into Pmode 1 or Pmode 3 or Pmode 4.
Is your Pmode 4 artifact color aware? Or?
Well, no, it's not aware. And my screen right here, I'm not sure does artifacts. This is a HDMI screen, right? I'm not going to see artifacts on here, or will I?
Depends on how it's getting converted, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, it's going through the ambery down here.
Only if you're coming out the composite.
Yeah, it's out
RF.
it's out the composite of a 16K CoCo 2.
And then I would think
It might
artifacts would
capture.
work in Pmode 4.
Yeah, Ken might speak to that too, because we'll be talking about his video he did this week, which actually
Yeah,
is
cool
fiddling
video.
with.
Yeah.
Okay. And Erico, who was on last week or the week before and has given me some artwork. I'm also going to run the demo that he had where he had the guys chatting with each other in Portuguese. And I'm going to use that as part of as like payload for one of my demos at CoCoFEST. So things are coming together. And the last thing I want to show you is the 6809 cube, actually 6309. There's 8 of our TFR9 boards. Each one of these has a vintage 6309 CPU from 1982 at the bottom and a Pico 2 to control it. And so I'm going to be running, I think, OS 9 level 1 on all of these and having them working on a very important math compute intensive job.
Oh, Bitcoin mining.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or encryption, decryption for the internet. That'd be good.
Something similar. The Collatz conjecture mining. I think a couple weeks ago I showed you where I had modified the output of GCC with a post processor so that I could do OS 9 binaries with GCC, and they work as position independent code. And I think the demo I had was my Collatz conjecture checker. And that's what I want to be running on these throughout. We're going to look for very large random numbers and check them out for the Collatz conjecture. And it's not very likely that we will find a counterexample, but if we do, we will be rich and famous, all of us.
There you go.
Yeah.
I do have one question on that for you, Henry.
Yeah.
Does the cube configuration of circuit boards fit into the Mac G4 cube case? We can have a case pre-designed.
Oh, there you go.
They fit exactly into this box that something on Amazon came in. And I don't know about the other, but here's the USB tangle.
Remember, Curtis, not everybody has a Mac, but most everybody has Amazon boxes.
Right.
Yeah. And
yeah, but it would look fancy with the G4 cube, I think.
I need to get the networking so that they can all send a message to each other. And I don't think that's going to be there this year. Maybe by next year, we'll have a very proper cloud-worthy cluster of 6309s with the fancy networking and everything.
I'm going to need to make a different case, aren't I?
Well,
that's not quite big enough.
I think the way I've laid this one out, maybe all you need is some Elmer's glue.
Oh yeah, no, I could just 4 tops and make 4 tops. Sounds familiar. Anyway,
no soldering. I'm in.
Yeah, no soldering. You just make a big cube with slots, and you drop in as many as you need until you've got the cluster of your dreams. Yeah.
All right, well, that's my stuff for today.
Nicely done.
All right. All right, Ken.
Yes. As Curtis alluded to there, they're going to be talking about my video that I did this week on this thing right here, which is the HD.
And great minds think alike, because I picked one up this week.
Well, now you know how to use it.
RF to HDMI adapter. I won't get into the stuff I talked about in the video, but one of the things was that Coco Living asked me in the comments to the video how it looks for the 80 column mode on the CoCo 3. So I just threw together a real quick little video here to show what everything looked like. So
I had that on Ron's garage like a year and a half ago or something.
There we go. So here I just loaded up the game that I've been working on for the electronic book. And I did the initial list in the 32 column mode, which it looks really good on.
Looks better than what I'm getting.
And then I changed it over to the 40 column mode, which still looks pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're not
very
losing the
readable.
side like you would on a TV back then.
Yeah. And then I tried the 80 column mode, which, yeah, that went about as well as you'd expect.
Actually, if you change the palettes, it's not too bad. It's readable, sort of.
Yeah, I could change the palettes. I just wanted to do it just off the... I just did it real quick this morning, so I didn't mess around with it too much, but I think I could make it more readable than this, but...
well, this is the mode where even my very, very nice tweaked Magnavox couldn't quite pull off 80 columns unless you pulled the color killer, and then you could get legible 80 columns out of it. But just having the color in on the signal was just enough to break everything.
But it definitely looks really good in 40 column mode, so...
Now, Mark, you were saying that you weren't getting as good of a picture out of it. Have you watched Ken's video? Because he had some tweaks and adjustments that he did specifically to help with that.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that box is awesome. I got to buy one. It's got all kinds of little buttons to fiddle with.
Yeah, when I actually, what I do in the video is I test it out on a CoCo 1, and as we'll probably show in a little bit, it didn't start out well.
Yeah, it's quite configurable. That's my favorite part. I was going to ask you, though, you didn't mention in the video, how much does it cost?
I think this one I paid 33 Canadian for.
Oh, wow.
I did actually mention, I showed the Amazon listing there that it ranges quite a bit. There's ones that go from about 32, 33 bucks up to about 45.
So far, as long as it looks like that one, it is that one as far as we know.
Yeah.
Unlike the other capture box where they've got identical ones that aren't the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently you also have to watch out because there is
most
ones that look exactly like this. There's ones that look exactly like this that are HDMI to RF, so they're opposite.
Oh, gotcha. Backwards.
Yeah.
With that.
That was the only box I could find.
They're
that actually...
a different color. Those boxes will be like silver instead of bronze.
Instead of the rose gold.
And apparently also there are other versions of this out there that have different connectors than the RF connector. So for various different
like composite or
regions.
component or something?
Just different regions.
Yeah, I actually opened mine up and took out the European connector and soldered in the socket.
Yeah, there was somebody on here. Somebody on here was saying that they got one. Where's that? Oh,
so you also need one of those guys.
Yeah.
With it.
Oh yeah, those are handy.
Very good.
I've got many of those. I just can't find any of them. When I was making this video, I spent like an hour looking for one of those connectors because
I just ordered them along with it.
There we go.
Yep.
Yep.
Have to get both connectors though. You have to get both connectors. The one that goes from the the plug on the back of the CoCo to the RF connector, and one that goes from
reversing
to goes from the female connector into the RF, because if you have an original Atari 2600, they've got the cable on it that has the male end, so you need the female.
You're just stuck there. Oh yeah, you need the
So I just end up using out of an audio set, but it's pretty heavily shielded.
Nice shielded.
Yes, those are good.
And I did try cheaper cable, and it definitely made a difference.
Yeah, it does. Like this is the cable that I use here. I just have the end.
Oh, yep.
And then my push connectors.
Okay.
Oh, right.
That way I can connect and disconnect real quick.
Right, video guy. Boom, shoot it.
Don't have to sit there and screw that little nut on every time.
Right.
And just to give you some idea of the configurability, that's the remote it comes with.
Yeah. I show that in the video. There's a nice little menu. You can go. The thing I like the most about it is that you can actually get the 4:3 aspect, or 4:3 aspect ratio that originally goes with it. Or you could stretch it. Or you could stretch it if you want, but you can do either.
Now, I did find that it was a little bit picky about the monitors.
Yeah.
So I initially had tried an older widescreen that was DVI, DVI, and have the HDMI adapter to it,
Mhm.
and it wouldn't fire up that monitor at all. And then I got my portable one. It worked fine in 720 mode, but wouldn't fire up if I had set it for the 1080.
The 1080i or P?
P, I think it is.
Yeah.
What that outputs. But my more modern screen, it fired up fine in all modes.
Yeah, with mine, I've just been running it straight into my capture card to run it into my computer. So
now I fed it through my SCART converter, and I guess it cleaned up the signal well enough that it enabled it to work in all modes on my portable screen.
So that's a cable television F connector on the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's actually, this is just a cable box. It's just a little mini cable box.
They just kind of ignored the cable bit and said, it's a converter now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
They just ripped the corner out of a VCR.
Right, you already got all the chips. Yeah, just ignore the parts you don't need. That makes sense.
My favorite part is the menu, like how configurable it is. So you can actually adjust it for every type of
that's
machine you
awesome.
hook up to it. Yeah.
It's really nice. And as we were saying, I mean, you can, for each system that I've plugged into it, I've had to adjust it to make the picture look good. And a couple of the systems I've actually had to rescan because it was on a slightly different frequency.
I'm just amazed you can get from a radio to HDMI in a cheesy little box like that at all.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the nice things is it's not going channel 2, channel 3. It's actually scanning all the frequencies.
Anywhere in
to
between,
find... Yeah. It's scanning the frequencies so you're getting directly onto the right signal.
And isn't the CoCo a little bit off?
It
on
is.
What frequency it's supposed to be for the
Because
TV?
when I go on the cable boxes, like I used to just run it through a cable box, and so often it would just come in as a slightly garbled picture, just off a little bit on the frequency. I have to keep turning the cable box on and off until it locked on perfectly.
Until it exits, yeah.
Well, the TVs of the day had that extra little knob on the outside to fine tune.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
And yeah, boy, howdy, did we use it.
Okay. Any other project updates? And I see we've been joined by Nick Marentes.
Oh, he snuck in a while ago.
All right.
Okay. Well, do we want to move on to Game On results?
Since I'm talking, sure.
Okay.
Welcome everybody to the CoCoNation Game On Challenge of the Week results video. This week we played Monkey Kong. We had a total of 15 players. We had JR with 58, Mark B with 59, Mike Zweifel 94, Rich N 124, Retro Rick 159, Canadian Retro Things 239, Dr. Ted 251, Jim Rye 270, Sloopy Malibu 338, Coconut Bob 367, Doug Venner 410, Richard G 588, Coco Fu 609, Shenley 611, and this week's number one score belongs to Tasman with 642. Thanks everybody that played. We'll see you again next week.
And the CoCoNation salutes Tasman.
Salute. So, oddly enough, I could not find any reviews for our clone of the Atari 2600 clone of Donkey Kong. So, which I actually thought was really weird because this one fit in 16K, right? Curtis?
Yep. It did.
Yeah, so this is the one that would fit in 16K. So all of us people that only had the 16K CoCo back then, this was our Donkey Kong that we played. So the fact that...
the only thing you really had it was kind of like was Canyon Climber if you had the cartridge, which was a heck of a lot more expensive.
Which I find really weird that nobody chose to review it back then, because it would have been one that a lot of people were forced to choose.
I mean, if you look at the old Rainbow scoreboards, Monkey Kong was definitely in the score listings.
I didn't go through and look at all those, but
yeah, you're right. I don't know why it wasn't reviewed. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, but
would have been good to have a 32K version with the extra 2 levels too.
No, I think the reason that wasn't done is because Donkey Monkey and Donkey King, I mean, obviously when that came out, you pretty well set the bar. So
yeah, and also, I mean, this one definitely was, I think it was definitely for the 16K CoCos. Like, it wasn't trying to be more than that.
Yeah. The only other reason I could think of is that there was a bit of turmoil between, like, when Ken Kalish was publishing his games like Phantom Slayer and Invader's Revenge, which came out a few months before Monkey Kong. Those were sold by Med Systems, and then Med Systems, I can't remember if they got sold to or if they went under and gave the rights to the stuff that Ken was doing to Screenplay. That's where they brought out Danger Ranger and Monkey Kong. And then Screenplay went bye-bye like within a few months after that, so maybe it just didn't last long enough to get review copies out to the magazines. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank God we have pirates.
Whatever the reason was, it's too bad it never got reviewed, because, you know, for the 16K version of Donkey Kong, I mean, if you had an Atari 2600, it would be very reminiscent of that. I grew up with the ColecoVision, so
it had better graphics than the 2600 version.
It did, although some people complained, of course, of the nuclear green, because that's what the CoCo was. But I did go through and I tried to capture some footage. I know that Sloopy was having a problem with the fireballs were constantly jumping the rivets after he had emptied them out and killing him. That happened to me once, and I tried and I tried every configurable possible way that would happen, and I never could make it happen to me. So, Sloopy, I think you just have the worst luck.
Yeah, it doesn't like me. I mean, literally, my whole main reason why my score wasn't significantly higher is because of the fireballs going across the opened rivets.
I don't know what to say.
It doesn't do this on the 2600. But I mean, yeah, I don't know if anyone else had the problem, but I mean, if you watch,
it happened to me once.
Yeah, if you watch the stream from Thursday, you can see it happening to me like a lot.
Well, it probably knows that you're an Atari person and the CoCo is just mad at you and allowing it to happen.
Yeah. Because the other big issue that I had was when you land on a rivet, you die because it takes the rivet away and then you're standing on a open space.
Well, then you shouldn't jump on the rivets. You should walk over them like everybody else.
But when you're jumping a fireball, you have no choice but to land on the rivet.
And here we got some Monkey Kong. Wow, that guy did really good. What is that, 3,000?
Yeah, but a lot of the people that submitted scores to Rainbow lied.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, there's some scores there that are physically impossible.
I've seen the physically impossible scores.
Some Todd Rogers scores.
Like, say that one in the lower right corner there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that guy is such a faker.
That was legit, though. I actually had witnesses on that one, but.
Well, I remember we did play one game where we figured out that the most you could score on the game was something like 15,000, and somebody in the Rainbow magazine had a high score of like 92,000 or something like that.
Right.
Whereas the most you could possibly score in the game if you did everything perfectly was like 15,000.
Yeah, and then there was other ones too, where like they would submit a score that ends in a 5, but the game never scores anything but multiples of 10.
Yeah,
just stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, and any score submitted that's over 500 on Neutroid.
Well, Neutroid was only very briefly sold in the States. I think Tom Mix had it briefly. Nick can probably attest to this, which he didn't know was getting sold because somebody else sold it on quote unquote his behalf.
Yeah.
And then it got yanked.
And I'm sure shared all the profits with Nick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah.
That's why he's so rich. He can become a squirrel in space, So
that's how he got his first Ferrari.
When did this show become a comedy show?
I'm sorry.
Wasn't it?
I don't know, but there's always something funny about it.
Kung Coco Fu says X-War did the fire jump for me also. I actually tried playing it in VCC, and I had some issues there too, but it was significantly more of a problem in X-Roar.
So it might just be something with X-Roar, because I was trying on VCC, and the only time I got the fireball to actually go across the thing after me was I had it like right on my heels when I jumped over the space. And I landed on the other side, and it caught up to me going over the gap.
Yeah, there's actually a couple times on the stream where you can see where the I've already pulled the rivets out of the left side, and I'm working on the rivets on the right side, and one of the fireballs went over the left side, went across the gap, and then got stuck over there for a short bit.
And we have a question that, Curtis, you might be able to answer. Tom Eric Gunderson asked, is this the game microdeal named King Cuthbert for the Dragon?
I think they did have a version of Monkey Kong. And it probably was renamed to Cuthbert because that's what microdeal would do.
Everything is Cuthbert.
So.
Yeah.
Cairin, if he's in the chat, would know better than me, though.
He is actually. I'm talking to him separately. Got to stay awake somehow.
Yeah, he said he only ever played Donkey King, which is I played all 3 of them, but Donkey King was by far the best and also the hardest.
All right, so I don't know. Tips and tricks for this game is definitely don't try to farm points by jumping over barrels and stuff, because you don't get it. You only get 1 point for jumping over a barrel, so you have to finish the screen as fast as possible to maybe get 30 or 40 points for finishing it.
I think the only tip I have, and I might be remembering this wrong, because I didn't get a chance to play it, but I believe it's quite dangerous to jump the fireballs on the rivet screen because they can just reverse direction in an instant.
Yeah, they can.
So if you're going to just avoid them and go on to a different level or something, and
that's definitely the best thing. Oh, another good thing that, as somebody was pointing out, that you can't do in any other Donkey Kong game that I think out there is that when you get the hammer, you can actually drop it right away by jumping.
Yeah.
So you don't have to hold on to it for the entire time. So like if you grab the hammer, kill the fireball on the second screen, then just jump and the hammer disappears, and then you can continue playing. Continue going up levels.
Handy, since those fireballs never climb up or down the ladders.
And they never respawn, so.
And I think the hammer never goes away until you push a button.
I'm not
I
sure.
don't think it does, because I sat there for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sixty's saying it does look like King Cuthbert is Monkey Kong renamed for the UK market.
And Jim Rye says don't bother with the hammer on the rivet screen, but I mean you do get a few extra points for grabbing the hammer, kill the fireball, and then jump right away and the hammer disappears. So.
And sometimes the fireball's just annoying the heck out of you, so you got to take them out.
Yeah. It feels better when you kill the fireball too.
It's your only
one less chance for it to jump the gap.
The super jump from Donkey King doesn't work on Monkey Kong either. I remember trying it when I was young.
Oh, and the climbing the ladder quickly like you can in the ColecoVision one doesn't work either. There's a trick in the ColecoVision game to go up the ladders really quick, when you step on the first rung, stop for like a beat and then go again, and you climb the ladder twice as fast.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
Also, if you're if a barrel is going over top of you in the girders and you're on the ladder, the barrel will come down that ladder.
So wait for the... Oh, also, on the barrel screen, there can only be 4 barrels on the screen at once, so... That's a good way to be able to time when you should go up that last ladder and not worry about a barrel coming at you. If there's already 4 barrels on the screen, nothing's going to come out. So I guess there's lots of tips and tricks for this game.
Yeah, that worked out. More informative than been in weeks.
I'm just going to see. I can't remember when I interviewed Ken Kalish if he said anything much about that game. I'm just going to take a quick look.
Nick, what are you, a mole?
Piece of squirrel.
I'm stuck. I don't know how to get rid of that. I tried to turn it off.
I swear, Your Honor, I am not a cat.
I was playing around with some of the features and turned it on. I thought, oh, that looks cool. Tried to turn it off. So I say, bugger it.
Well, I gotta say, Nick, we've never seen you so animated.
Right?
That's the most awake I've ever seen him. I got to see if it stays away during the news.
I got to step away for a minute.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess we will go on to talking about Balldozer, which is the Arkanoid game that was released on the Dragon.
With a few things different than arcade. Some of the power-ups are quite different.
Yeah, some of the power-ups are quite different. You also don't have anything coming out the top of the screen at you. But, and it's keyboard controlled. I know there was somebody that was complaining about not being able to get the joysticks to work on it on the online X-Roar. It's because it's not joystick controlled.
Oh, just before I go fully onto that, I did find one quote from Ken Kalish on Monkey Kong.
Oh, okay.
Because he was kind of running through off the top of his head during the interview what games he'd all written at that time period. He goes, Monkey Kong, which I was determined to fit into 16K, but maybe shouldn't have.
Oh, well, I mean, for those of us that only had a 16K computer, I mean, it was something to pick up. Like
service to somebody.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think after he saw Donkey King and Donkey Monkey, which only had 2 screens, though it did that weird combo screen.
Yeah.
Both required 32K, and I think he kind of regretted he could have taken the game much closer to the arcade if he restricted himself or removed that restriction.
There's still time.
It's not too late for him.
Yeah.
Right.
I haven't been able to contact him, and I know when I interviewed him, he was a good 15 years up on me, so he would be, like 70 something, maybe 80.
Oh my God.
Well, then he's got to keep his memory sharp with adding on to.
Right.
Yeah, well, I haven't been able to find him. If anybody does find him, let me know.
I'm sure he watches our show.
Yeah, he's not even on Facebook, so I doubt it.
There's the comedy again.
Yeah, so Balldozer, definitely it's very touch and go to be able to move across the screen fast enough to catch the balls, so don't hesitate to try to catch the power-ups all the time, because I've definitely died too many times trying to get a power-up and then get across the screen to catch the ball. So
yeah, that's where being too greedy does not help.
Yeah. Also, learn what the power-ups are, because there's some that actually are negative power-ups. They make your ball go faster, which then makes the game very hard.
And does he have the one that just plows through everything it goes through?
Yeah, that's it. That's the best one to get.
Yeah.
Because you can clear the screen pretty quickly with that one. So.
Yeah, I like the fact that Stuart actually, he made it, Arkanoid-like with all the power-ups and stuff, but he actually did a bit of originality and threw in some, like you said, the cursed ones, and then, the super blow up everything in its path one too. It made it different enough from Arkanoid that it felt almost like a unique variation.
And there is a fire one too, like one to shoot with that when you get it. I think, what is it? On the emulator that or on this layout I have, it's the shift key to fire the ball. So that's also the fire key when you get the power up. So, I don't know. What else is there to say about Balldozer? But somebody's got to crack the thing and to bring up level 31 just to see what it is, because I'm not sure anybody's ever seen level 31 on this game.
Now, if it was analog joystick based, would that make it easier enough that you might make it?
Yes.
Possibly.
Because Stuart usually keeps all of his source codes, so if he's listening to this or if Cairin is in contact with him, that would be a nice little patch.
Yeah.
You have a challenge, Ken.
And one thing I do have to say, because it was designed for P-Mode 4 without color, because it was designed for PAL, it kind of reminds me of what a breakout game would look like on the original Macs. It's kind of, the Mac and the Coco, the same aspect ratio on the pixel sizes and stuff.
Yeah, since you won't be at CoCoFEST, you have a new challenge, Ken. Get to level 31.
I think
record the live video of it here. We'll watch the entire 18-hour episode.
I've made it to level 2 once. So
18 hours. Wow, you're generous, Curtis.
Well, I figured it's as long as he could stay awake.
Well, with all of the tries if I record all the tries to get to level 31, that'll be more like an 18-year video.
Yeah, convert it to analog and then use a paddle would probably be your best bet.
Or the Black Beauty. Black Beauty works just as good as a paddle.
For analog, I prefer paddles myself.
Yeah, but we're not all you, Sloopy.
No, thank God.
Apparently, I made it to level 2 when I took my screenshots. I should have submitted that as a score, darn it.
It's a hard game anyway.
You were there once, right?
It's a hard game.
Yeah.
I think so far, Cairin has the high score at about 1,000, or did he 2,000, I think, something like that. So. Well, I guess.
The one thing I will mention, if you have a Coco 3 and an RGB monitor, it looks awesome on that.
Yeah, actually, the for something that's not made to have color, it looks actually pretty decent when you force it into color.
Yeah, I preferred it in black and white because it looks so clean. Like it literally looks like a Mac Classic style game.
Oh yeah, it looks very clean in black and white, but
And he did a lot of texturing and stuff like backgrounds and things here to make it look more almost like grayscale. It's not technically, but. And if I remember when we did our interview with all the Dragon guys in the big 6-hour Dragon special, I think he went through a little bit of Balldozer and the development of it type thing. So if you haven't seen that yet, it would be on the old Coco Talk show, but check it out.
Yeah. So Cairin, with 1,005, I think is the high score on Balldozer right now. So yes, it is likely, Cairin, you have the high score currently. And what level did he get to? 4. See, he's way ahead of the next highest level is level 2. You're the only one that's made it past level 2 so far. All right. Anybody else have anything to say about Balldozer or Monkey Kong?
One question for you. Do you think it is, in the tradition of UK games, too hard?
It's definitely teetering on the too hard thing. Yes. But as we said, like, I mean, if you actually could play it with either the Black Beauty or paddle, and do like the instant move across the screen like you can on many others, it would work a lot better, I think.
Yeah.
It would not be near as hard. I think the biggest thing about it being hard is that the timing to get across the screen, if you hit it on one side and have to get over to the other side, especially with when you get into the level where the blocks are really low, it becomes almost impossible to.
Yeah, because you have very little time to react when it bounces off. So.
Yeah.
60 says, yes, it's too hard.
Yeah, 60 says it's too hard. It's
he's
too damn
he's
hard.
an actual UK player. He's saying it's too hard. It's friggin' hard.
Yeah, it's a hard game. And like I said, nobody's ever going to get to level 31. It's generous with his lives, but needs to be, especially when the ball speeds up and you have no chance unless you have a
fast ball enabled. Or fast bat enabled, I guess. That's probably one of the power-ups, and we can speed up how fast.
Yeah. Which I don't know which one is fast bat, so I never know when I have it enabled. I haven't learned what all the power-ups are yet.
Yeah, I didn't figure them all out for the website entry either.
Well, I read all the directions.
You did, but who pays attention to you when you do that, Mark?
Snort off somewhere halfway through.
Yeah, it's kind of like Mark starts reading the directions. It's like listening to Curtis read the news. It's like instantly asleep.
He said it's the exclamation mark power-up.
Oh, is that what that one does? Okay.
It's a bat. Wow, imagine that.
And hold shift and you move faster. There's a key.
I know that you have to hold shift when you get the fast bat to actually enable it, but well, now maybe I'll be able to play the game better.
But we'll never play it again.
Now let's have a look at where the heck did my oops, did I kill my no, that's that screen right there. Oh, there it is. Here we go with the live Game On challenge.
Wow, that looked pretty cool.
Yeah, actually, the artifacting, I mean, you get a bit of fringing and stuff, but his dithered backgrounds maintain consistent color, and you even got some like colored patches on the top there. I always played it in RGB, so I haven't actually seen it in composite.
Yeah. And the only reason I play it, like I'm the top corner there, I think the only reason it's in composite is because I forgot to turn that off after playing Monkey Kong.
Yeah, that looks surprisingly good, actually.
And here we have reading the Balldozer.
Sort of punk rockish artwork there.
I think we were saying that looked like Sloopy.
Hey. That's not very nice.
On a good day.
Huh, only 2 people are playing there. Okay, well, let's move on.
It definitely was a later release. I mean, the Dragon got canceled in, what, 84?
Yeah,
and
this was...
He released the game in 88, which is quite late for a commercial release.
Oh, there
you got the Super Powerball there.
Yeah. It's a great way to clear off a lot of stuff on the screen.
Yeah.
Handy, if you hit it.
But then I had the fastball after that, and it was very hard to...
That's like you're moving too fast, so do you forget about the shift key, or is it just that's as slow as it goes?
I forgot about the shift key. I didn't know which one was... See, I got it there, so I got the fast paddle there, but I forgot that I have to hit the shift key to use it. So. Well, Sloopy, anything you want to say about the live Game On Challenge? Or are you back?
No, I'm not.
You're not back?
Nope.
We were hoping you'd be back by now.
It's just my front.
Too bad.
Back's back there. Or back there. All right. Yeah, we had a great show. We had, what, 5 people playing at once? 4?
Something like that. Oh, there we go. 5 people.
But this just does raise one question. Why were you not there?
I was busy working. I was still sick. I'm still sick now, as you can probably hear in my voice, but it's better. I'm not coughing constantly.
I was at the Glenside meeting.
Excuses. So, yes, fun was had by all, and they actually played the games. If you'll notice.
Yeah. I think, did anybody play a different game on this one? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
We actually had 2 good games this time.
Wow.
Just wait till you see the game that I chose this week.
Uh-oh.
Revenge of the Ken.
So, you need to continue choosing the good games that everyone likes to play.
Oh, well, that takes all the fun out of it.
Even if they are frustrating and they keep breaking the rules.
Only for you, Sloopy.
Uh-huh.
But as you said, I think it might have something to do with being on XROAR. There might be something for some reason.
I have no idea. So,
it's an interesting case to send to Sixie.
Yes. So yes, Sixie, if you're listening, I had a significant issue with the fireballs going over the gaps. I noticed it when I ran it on VCC, but it was nowhere near as prevalent on VCC as it was when I was using XROAR. But yes, join us Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, for the Game On Challenge Live. And if you want to join, all you have to do is join the CoCo Discord and come into the live channel. We can help you set up, we can help you get running and show you how to share your screen and everything. The only thing that we can't do is give you a ride there. You have to do that yourself. So, join us for the CoCoNation Game On Challenge Live, featuring Ken.
Yay!
So, back to you, Ken.
Did you tell what time it is? Thursday night?
I forgot all that stuff.
Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Okay. I think that's all the information they need then. So we're expecting to see you all there. Everybody on the panel, everybody watching the show right now. We want you all there to crash the system.
And even complete strangers.
Yes. Yeah. Invite your friends, invite your family.
And you people lurking on the stream and not talking, yes, we expect you to be there also.
What if you don't have any friends?
I don't have any friends, that's why I'm here.
Invite your pets. All right,
yeah.
So that was the... Oh.
Yeah. So, Ken, what was that thing you were supposed to say here on the show?
Our game for the next 2 weeks is going to be... Drum roll, please. This is going to be a really hard one to guess because it's definitely not one of those that has the name of the game plastered on every screen. So I couldn't take a screenshot without it.
So we're not playing Neutroid.
Let's see where it's at.
God,
There
no,
it
he
is.
did.
Can anybody guess what this is?
PacMan?
Donkey Kong.
Joust.
What's that name at the top?
It's called Basic.
It's Basic.
Yes, it's a
Basic.
basic game.
It is actually written in BASIC, so.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we covered it on the show, actually, when the author was writing it.
Yep.
You just
So-
love torturing Ken, don't you?
Actually, it's really good. I mean, really good.
Yeah, for pure basic. It's Coco 3, obviously, you could tell by all the colors.
Yeah.
Just a second here. I was just going to point out that on the archive, there is actually two versions of this. There's the 2.0 and the 3.0. Definitely run the 3.0. Because it's like way fast. It's definitely very well optimized over the basic PacMan 2.0.
Oh.
Woohoo!
So, that is what
You
we are
can't do-
playing.
You can't do the play now for the version 3, though.
No, you can't. So, you have to download it and run it in an emulator. Was that the game that you were thinking about choosing in the future, Sloopy?
No.
Oh, darn.
Oh,
I'm
man.
trying to steal his thunder.
Nope, that was not it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So, we shall be playing basic PacMan for the next 2 weeks.
Yay.
But,
Enjoy.
128K Coco 3 doesn't need joysticks, or is it keyboard?
I don't know, I was playing it with the joystick, so.
Yeah.
It works with a joystick.
Well, that's good.
Playing it on VCC with joystick, so.
Are you going to see if we can get the author on?
Yeah, we should definitely reach out to him. I know he's on Discord, so. And quite active on Discord.
Be good to have him on the Game On Challenge Live. We can ridicule the players. I mean, give them tips.
Yeah. Oh, it's PacMan, so.
And
The only difference that I found playing this that's different from the original PacMan is when you eat the ghosts when they're blue, their eyes don't go all the way back to the home thing. They just immediately reform inside the home.
Much overhead in animation.
Other than that, I would say it's fairly spot on.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Jack Spleen in the chat there says joystick only. He says, I'm the author, so you can invite him right now.
Oh, there. Would you like to come on to the show? And you can come on to this show and talk about it during the segment. And you can also come on to the live Game On Challenge and
Make fun of people.
make fun of us playing it. Tell us how bad we are at PacMan.
Hecklers are welcome. Always.
No, it's definitely an excellent, considering it's Coco 3 Basic, it's an amazing feat. It's way better than that one that Nick Morante's guy made.
Yeah, and he had to cheat and use ML.
He has
those
done
fight-
a very good job.
Are
I'll
those
admit
fighting
he's
words?
He's done a very good job. Yeah, I was impressed.
I was very impressed when I've tried it out, so.
And I'm trying to remember, I think the version we showed on the show was only the version 2. I don't think it was the optimized version 3, was it?
I can't remember. But
He
I
says he
mean,
should be
definitely
available, so.
Nice.
Cool. The version 3 definitely, I would say it's at least runs twice as fast as the version 2. It runs at just about arcade speed.
Oh, yeah, the last time I saw it, I think it was the old version 2 then.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I would say an amazing feat of programming on the Coco 3.
So definitely worth checking out.
He's done a good job.
Could you full screen the payment for a moment, please? Oh, wants to look at the PacMan?
Full screen the payment?
He meant PacMan.
PacMan, yeah.
Auto incorrect was added again.
Right, right. You're going to say what I want you to say.
Since it's someone's background picture, I really can't.
Just a second. I'm just going to bring it up.
I can do that, I suppose.
Well, Ken has a full screen version of it here. You can...
Wait.
Yeah, but where'd it go? Oh.
There.
It was there.
Oh. You took away my share. Just a second. I'm going to reshare.
Yeah, it did something funny here. Zoom has done something different.
There. So that is the full screen. And
Since I haven't had a chance to actually play it yet, does it have all the bonus fruit in the bottom? I noticed at least has one down there.
I don't know. I've never made it past level 1 in the of my trying out of it.
It seems to be a common theme of yours.
Hey, I only discovered it last night, so I've only played it a few times, but I was thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to try the version 3 there. Like I said, I only saw version 2 before, so
yeah,
if it's twice as fast, that's an improvement. That's quite noticeable.
I would guess so. I mean, that's just my guess. I just tried to... I compared the version 2 to the version 3, and I would say it's probably running close to twice as fast. Maybe not quite, but...
I wonder what it would run like on a Gimme X or Gimme Z at 3 times speed.
Oh, there you go.
All right, well, that is the Game On Challenge.
Yay.
Copy my bank details? I can give you my bank details. I don't care. You can't get much lower than the negative balances I have.
You can put money in, but
there's only so much room left in the overdraft.
Yeah. No, there's not so much room. There's pretty much no room left in the overdraft. So the only thing you can do with my bank accounts is put money in.
Deposit. Yeah, there you go.
So please, deposit away.
There's my number.
Actually, this is big improvement over PacMan. He just said in the chat here, he says 6 pre-built mazes, and I think it was all the bonus fruits except for the Galaxian ship. So it's got more mazes than Miss PacMan.
Excellent. Nice. So looking forward to getting better at this game. Spending some time playing it.
Okay, shall we take our commercial break and come back with the news?
We were promised a commercial.
Yeah, where's my commercial?
Right here.
Hello, everyone. It's your good buddy, your good pal, Amigo, and joined by that dastardly The Brent from ARG Presents.
You're watching CoCoNation.
I feel like that should have been longer.
The CoCoNation Show would like to thank the following patrons: AC's 8-Bit Zone, Alex Gare, Alan Huffman, Barry Tompkinson, Boysen Tech, Brendan Donnie, Brian Walsh, Brian Weasler, Karen Askham, Coconut Bob, Daddy Burrito, David Ladd, Derek Smithson, Diego BF109, Don Barber, Eric Canales, Frederick Segard, Glenn Hewlett, Graham Wabke, Grant Leedy, Henry Gernhardt, Henry Strickland, Jason Warrens, Jeffrey Drywater, Jim Mullis, Justin Larson, Ken Reichard, Kevin Holloway, Mark Castellan, Michael Hill, Patrick Euland, Paul Fiscarelli, Paul Shoemaker, R. Allen Murphy, Richard Gore, Richard Harding, Rob Inman, Rocky Hill, Steve Batson, Terry Trapp, TJB Chris, Tom C., Tom Gunderson, Tom S., William Athing. Thank you so much, patrons. If you would like to support the CoCoNation show, sign up at patreon.thecoconation.com.
Hi, this is Mikey N6IL, and you're watching the CoCoNation, the nation's first live and interactive talk show featuring the Tandy Color Computer and its hardware cousins.
The CoCoNation would like to thank our Discord boosters. Boysentech, Captain Kirchhoff, Frederick Micro Hobbyist Sigard, Glenside Computer Club, Paul Fiscarelli, Paul Shoemaker, Richard G., and Wingnut 2626. Please consider joining Discord and visiting the welcome section to see what the community has to offer. Just go to discord.thecoconation.com.
See you on Discord.
When you want the latest in TRS-80, Tandy, Dragon, MC-10, and all of their hardware cousins. No matter what it takes, or where news breaks, from around the world to your nation. The CoCoNation News with L. Curtis Boyle.
So before we get to the game on news, I just wanted to add a mention here that the author of Basic PacMan, who's in the chat, also mentions there's a maze editor. You can build your own mazes in the game in addition to the 6 that are already there. So I don't know if you want to expand the scope of the game on challenge next 2 weeks and see if people can come up with a different maze to try for the other players. Sloopy or Ken, I don't know if either of you are still around, but what do you think of that idea? Of course, they both.
I don't think if you build your own maze, we don't use it for a score because you could pretty easily cheat that way.
No, it'd be kind of like a separate little thing, like who can make.
Yeah,
a cool
but
maze
definitely building your own maze would be something fun for everybody to try playing your mazes. You can.
Oh, there you go. Try to make everyone else score badly on your maze, and then you win.
Make a maze that's nothing but power pellets.
Or a bunch of dead ends with no power pellets. Anyway, yeah, that would be kind of fun to throw that in the mix too, since it's one of the few games we have that actually you can design your own levels. Anyway, on to the gaming news. The first one up, Chronologically Gaming. He's basically he's wrapping up 1982. He's got all the ones that had specific release dates in 1982, and he's got a few that are just generic December that don't have a specific date, and then he's got a few to clean up after that that'll be just in 1982, and nobody knows what date they were released, like not even a month. So, but basically, since he's so close to being the end of 1982, he decided to do a twofer on this last episode he did. One, he went through the Electronic Games Magazine's 1983 Buyer Guide, which is published at the end of 1982. It even has a little section on the CoCo. That was the last time I think they ever mentioned it. And it's showing like a standard stock photo from Radio Shack. So while all the other machines like Ataris and stuff are showing like fancy arcade games, the CoCo one I think showed like backgammon. So hardly trying to push the machine too much there. But after the end of that, he decided to go through and kind of review the 5-star games for 1982 that he found, and the only CoCo game that got 5 stars was Donkey King. So I thought I'd play that little segment because it's just a tribute to the fact that it was the best Donkey Kong clone available at the time on any machine.
And speaking of best, on the TRS-80 color computer, we had Donkey King. This is one of the best ways to play Donkey Kong on a home computer. Donkey Kong is the king right now. 5 stars. For all handheld.
So anyway, that was just nice to see that the CoCo, after the fact, years later, actually got recognized for having, the best Donkey Kong clone as of the end of 1982 on any platform. Because I agree with that sentiment. Next up, we talked about this last week. Paul Cunningham's been working on a game that is basically roughly based on the old Star Trek games from the mainframes, etc. They got ported to the CoCo. We've covered a few of them before. We've interviewed some of the authors of some of the ports. But he's been expanding on it quite a bit. So 1, it's running on a graphics screen. 2, it's got animations. 3, it's got different graphics for different types of ships. And it's also got some real-time play where you move around and shoot live in real time to kill things instead of, punching in an angle from 0 to 8 with decimals and then, or power, stuff like that. So it's actually a bit more arcadey than your standard ones. So he's got this mention here on Facebook in the CoCo Facebook group with a screenshot. And it's basically loosely based on Space Warp, which is originally a Tier City Model 1 game from 78, I believe it was. And he's got his first official beta out now. And if you go into the show notes, which I've already uploaded to the CoCo Discord, you can actually get the link for this, but you can actually go download the beta and give it a shot. So he's labeling it as 0.94 preview available now. And he's got that same screenshot here, and he's got the actual place to go download it and try it out. And this might be a suggestion. I don't know if this is a good kind of game for a game on challenge. Because I think basically it's a little bit randomized at the beginning, like how many Jovians, alias Klingons you have to kill. So depending on the randomness, it might favor certain players that there's more enemies to kill in a particular game. But it might be fun as kind of a parallel game if you want a little bonus game to play for 2 weeks. And then he also released a little bit of a video here so we can actually play a little bit. I don't think there's much sound on this, but I'll play a little bit of it anyway, just to show you what some of the real-time aspects of it and the arcade-style aspects instead of the strict text-based that most of these style games were done back in the day. So you got your long-range scans, you got your short-range, and then you actually can move around, and you can see the aliens coming at you, and you just blew it up with one shot. Some of the later aliens take more than one shot to kill. I've even seen the aliens fire back with different types of weapons, depending. And it's basically real time. You can see he's punching in commands and stuff. Plus now he's moving the ship in real time too. So there you see some diagonal shots coming from the Jovian, quote unquote. And there you can see a live photon torpedo style thing. So there's quite a bit of coolness in here, but pick it up a little bit later. You can see some of the other aliens coming down. Oops. So there you can see like a different type of ship. And they fire different kinds of weapons too. And then you can see there's like a couple different ships or different colors. So I quite like the looks of this, actually. This is a pretty innovative way to convert the old mainframe mini-style Star Trek games into something a bit more modern.
Yeah, jumping from a management game to a arcade game. It's kind of like running around Mario, where you run through the map and then you jump in here and do your thing and you jump back out to the map. And...
Like here's docked with this space station, so you're recharging your shields and stuff. Or your energy, I should say.
Remember where that is, so you can go back later and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
There it goes and starts charging back up again. And you can see he's switching between his views while it's still charging. So it's a lot more real time than a lot of those old Star Trek games, which are much more turn-based style, like you said, more management style games.
Right.
And you can see several different kinds of aliens there.
Ooh, shoot everybody.
Yeah. It looks really good. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but any of you are into this type of game, I would definitely go grab the current 0.94 Ada alpha/beta release. He's taking some suggestions if you've got any bugs, etc. And then a full release should be coming fairly quickly because it looks like it's pretty well done. And a very well done version of this type of game. I think the only Star Trek game I can think of on CoCo that would be better than this would probably be Space Wreck, which is basically a clone of the arcade Star Trek simulator, which has that 3D aspect and it's machine language and has some actual 3D graphics, a split screen with the 3 different views, etc. So it's got some pretty cool stuff in it too. But I would definitely rank this the second best out of all the Star Treks, and there's at least a dozen that I know of on the CoCo. So, and then Jim Gary's been busy again. He took a bit of time off, I think, because he was busy preparing his presentations for VCF Montreal, which we'll be getting into a little bit later in the regular news as well. But he released a couple of things here. So the first one we got is Tomb of Terror. And this was originally written by Bob Cockcroft in 1984 for the Canadian Atari magazine called ROM, Volume 1, Issue 4. And I was going to ask Sloopy, since he's the local Atari expert, did you guys ever see that magazine in the States? Was that something that was only up here, or is that like sold across the border on both? And while I'm waiting for Sloopy to come back and wake up, I will mention that he is using a machine language routine here written by Greg Dion to draw lines, because normally you can only set and reset pixels, and it would be quite slow to do that in BASIC. So it's basically a 3D walkthrough, kind of like an Akalabeth type thing, where you're going through maze. You have doors, and you have hallways and corridors, etc. Very D&D like. I'll fast forward a little bit here. Loading the dungeon map. It even has those descriptions of what part of the maze you're in type thing. You can see a doorway off to the side. You can see a bit of a distance here to go to a dead-end wall. You've encountered a rat. And then you have your options to defend, run, or attack with your various weapons that you have. So that's very similar to the old Calibut style games. But I thought having the machine language machine to draw the lines here at a fairly decent clip actually is not too bad. And I will mention here too, he's using the SG6 mode. He's not using SG4. So this is 64 by 48 pixels. So it's more square pixels, slightly higher res vertically than your standard reset graphics are. But it looks like to be quite a good version of this type of game if you want to play that. And as usual, as his little description, you kind of a little bit of history, and you can go grab it. He's even got the links now to the if you want to download directly for your MC10 in the description of his YouTube channel or his YouTube videos on his channel, and then you can go grab the game directly from there. And that's on the Internet Archive. The other one is one he revisited. So this is a game he has released before, and it's called, I'm probably going to butcher this completely, Manbiki Shounen, which is basically Japanese for Shoplifting Boy. This is not a recommendation. Originally written by Hiroshi Suzuki in 1979 on the Commodore PET. And basically he visited, in this case, he wanted to do some improvements. Now, this was originally in the February 1980 issue of RAM magazine for the PET, written in late 79. So he added skill levels. There's 3 of them now. There was just basically one generic level before that, and fixed up some of the animations. So he wanted to get these animations of the characters, and I'll show that in a second here, but he wanted them to more closely resemble the PET, where it looks like the people are waving their arms, etc. And I think he did a pretty good job here, as you'll see shortly.
I just want to quickly jump in here that there's a really good video.
Let me kill that sound a bit here. Sorry,
there's a really good video about this game on the PET that 8-Bit Show and Tell did, where he optimized it and went over it and fixed some stuff in it. So if you're interested in the original version, that's a good video to go check out.
So is there some bugs he detected? I know Jim usually goes in and fixes bugs too.
Not bugs. I think it was more just optimizations. But
I think he's using some semi-graphic characters for moving feet.
Yeah.
He's got the greater than, less than, and slash, backslash for the arm waving, which actually looks pretty decent.
He uses this a lot at different computer shows when he brings his pet with him. So
yeah, and they have Petski there, so they have a bit more variety of these characters to use. Now, is it the premise of the game? I haven't played this, but I think you're supposed to like steal stuff off these store shelves, right?
Yeah, so you're stealing all the stuff off the shelves, and you got to steal things and make sure that the guy at the top, who's the guard, he can't see you down the aisle. So if he comes to the top of the aisle while you're stealing stuff, you get caught.
And he sees you and like arrests you or runs down towards you, or
yeah. Well, that's how you die if you happen to be in an aisle when the guard.
So it's kind of a stealth game, like a very early stealth game. Oh, you can't even try to run.
No. As soon as he sees
that's
you.
hardly fair. Oh, I like him in jail. That's cute. I hadn't seen that before, but I quickly previewed it earlier. Oh, yeah, that's available to grab, too, if you want to see that. I will mention there's a little bit more Jim Gary, I think, coming up later, but it's not game-related, so that'll be in the MC10 news. Next after that, we got an update from the 8-Bit guy. So for those of you that have played Quarks, which was a feature game, the Game On Challenge probably a month or two ago, ported by Paul Shoemaker from the 8-Bit guy, Dave Murray's own Commodore 64 versions. Which Paul did a really good job, and he made a Dragon version with P-Mode 3, he made an Artifact Color P-Mode 4 version for the CoCo 1 and 2, and he also made a CoCo 3 16-color version. And it's based on, what the heck is the arcade game? It's by Sega. And then John Strong did a version called Gems for the CoCo 3 back in 92 or 93 or something like that. But it's a falling column game where you rotate your shapes vertically. You can't twist them around like in Tetris. It's Tetris-like, but a little bit different because of the rules. But there's a cartridge version of it that he was planning on selling. Now, the first batch of circuit boards they got didn't work. So his update is that I have an update on Quark's cartridges for the CoCo 3. As most of you know, the first prototype did not work. It has been taking a long time for some reason to get our prototypes made, usually several weeks. Anyway, Kevin called me today and said the new prototype works, so now we just need to order 100 PCBs. We already have 28 pre-orders still waiting for delivery. We already have the cartridge shells, labels, and sleeves, which you can see a little picture of it down on the bottom there, or you can see it on the 8-Bit Guy site. And so the good news is these will all ship by the end of the month. I apologize for the delay, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. And I think he had the option of getting an autographed one, so if you're a fan of the 8-Bit Guy, you can get that done as well. A little bit of a fundraiser for himself, but a lot of work went into this game originally, and a lot of work to Paul for converting it over, and it looks really good. Had a lot of fun playing that one. And yeah, if you've ordered the cartridge version, I know that's been waiting for a while here as they've been trying to get the circuit board problem fixed. That is now fixed. They'll be popping the boards once they get the new batch of 100, and then you start receiving them. If you've been waiting until they actually get ready before you want to order it, you can do that now, knowing that they will be out so shortly. And last, Ron Delvaux, are you still here? Because if you are, I wanted to ask if you're aware of this video yet. I'm assuming you might be. But SpriteWorks, which is, I'm pulling a blank on his name, Jay something? A fellow Canuck here. He's been doing all these awesome MC10 games recently, and with professional packaging and the whole bit. But he's got another little teaser one called Alien Incursion on the Grid. And he's done a lot of green screen backgrounds and stuff here to make it look like he's floating up in a space station type thing. But there's appearances of a couple of YouTubers on there, and also an appearance by Ron Delvaux very briefly on here. So I don't know if he's aware of it, but since it's only in a minute and a half, I'll just play the entire thing. You can tell he's watching the news right now.
Hope that's all he's doing.
Alert. Grid incursion detected. An unauthorized vessel has entered the system. Downloading long-range sensor imaging. Deploy a pilot immediately to investigate and monitor the alien ship.
I thought that.
That's TJ Ferrer. Of course, he's the rather exuberant YouTuber who's done a fair bit of MC10 stuff too.
Ron, you're off the hook.
Is Ron here?
He's still on the call, but he's muted. He might be away from the. I get back as soon as he recalls somebody from retirement, he goes back to sleep.
Right, yeah. My job is done.
He's put on CoCoNation.
Yeah, exactly. He's watching the news now.
Oh, you can see the green in his glasses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the way he's been doing his promotions and stuff, though, because he does a lot of this stuff where he does some really innovative, I think, especially for the MC10 market. Not only the packaging, but also these teaser videos and stuff like that. And then he does some technical ones too, where he'll go through the stuff. And then, of course, he sends them off to Ron and TJ and a few others to do reviews, some of the more avid MC10 users. Anyway, that's it for Game On news. But
there's one more thing. I might just quickly add it in just to give an update.
You go for it.
And it's game related, so I thought better do it now. First of all, a big shout out to Cairin, who, while you guys are talking, we've been communicating and working in the background. And Cairin did some magic for me just before, and I just want to thank him for his work. He's just helped me with a problem. Now it was for people who watched last week's show. I brought up a question that I had.
Oh, the high-speed poke on ROM, right?
That's right. So it's a continuation of that. And Cairin helped me with the final bit that I was trying to do. And, of course, he knew exactly what to do and helped me straight away. And I got it all working. Now, just to recap, last week I was explaining how on the CoCo you have effectively 3 clock speeds. You have, and we'll call it, say, the slow clock speed being the 0.89 megahertz, which is the standard speed.
Yeah, that's power up default.
Every CoCo. We've got the high clock speed for the CoCo 3, and which is 1.79 megahertz. And then we've got, let's call it, the middle clock speed, which is the hybrid one, which works on all CoCos, but it only does 1.79 megahertz when running ROM, but drops to 0.89 when accessing RAM.
Yeah.
So I had a few questions wondering if in the CoCo 3, if the CoCo 3 actually, the one problem with trying to use high clock speed on the CoCo 1 and 2 and Dragon is that it can't maintain the video display. So you can't use high clock speed on a CoCo 1, 2 or Dragon, but you can on a CoCo 3. But this game's got to work on a CoCo 1 and 2.
You can on a CoCo 1 or 2, but you have to be a bit sneaky about it. The ones I've seen that use it effectively where it doesn't scramble the screen is you have to do it during the VSync or VBike.
Yeah, but
you get a burst of high speed, and then you have to drop it back down.
I know.
So.
And I just and so I wanted to try this 1.79, the medium speed, but not having a CoCo 2. I'm using a CoCo 3. I wanted to try create a ROM file of my game and load it with an emulator like XRAW to confirm that middle clock speed will work correctly on a CoCo 1 and 2, and whether it'll be fast enough, because the game is a bit too slow when running at 0.89. So I recompiled all my code to act as if I was compiling a ROM, because I was doing it all in RAM on my CoCo 3. So I recompiled it so the whole thing runs on in the ROM cartridge space. And I tested the there's one thing. Yeah, I was hoping that on a CoCo 3 it might emulate that middle clock speed correctly as a ROM, but it doesn't. It treats it. Oh, sorry, no. It does. It emulates the CoCo 1 and 2 exactly the same. I was hoping I'd get a bit more different results on a CoCo 3. So the CoCo 3 is exactly the same as a CoCo 1 and 2 when running that clock speed mode, but you need to have your code in ROM. I was hoping I'd get away with it being just in a RAM, emulating the ROM in RAM on a CoCo 3, but no, the CoCo 3 does it exactly the same as a CoCo 1 and 2. So I needed to test it on a CoCo 1 and 2 using XRAW, say. So I created the ROM files, but I had no way to make it so I can load, well, I didn't know, rather, how to make the file into a ROM file for the emulator. And I contacted Cairin just at the start of the show, and he did it for me, created a ROM file of the code that I've done for the game. It's not finished yet, and it works. So and the speed up does work. It does when running from ROM, it does indeed run at a CoCo 1 and 2 does indeed run at 1.79, but it drops down when accessing RAM, which is the video display. But
your variables and stuff like in RAM, yeah.
Variables and stuff and the video display have to still run at the slower speed. But all the code that's in the ROM does run at 1.79, and it doesn't lose the video.
Yeah, it's kind of like with BASIC. Like when you run that speed up hook in BASIC, it does the similar thing. Like
exactly
your BASIC program doesn't double in speed. It depends what It depends on the routines, like how often it stays in the ROM versus how much it has to access the RAM.
That's right.
Compared to like 20% faster, 50%
So hence
faster.
it's a medium clock speed. So it's in between the 0.89 and the 1.79. And it does indeed work. And the speed I'm happy with. I was worried I didn't want to get too much further in the game. I needed to find that on a CoCo 1 and 2, it was going to be really bog slow. But no, the speed up does work. So I am back on track. And thanks to Cairin for his magical work. I can't thank him enough. But that saved me a lot of trouble trying to work out how to create these ROM files.
So I want to ask a question. Now we got Cairin in the chat and got you, and you guys have been experimenting with these again. Like some people say that half double speed, half not is ROM versus RAM dependent, and others say that it's basically which 32K bank you're mapping in, like it's address dependent. Which is it in real life?
Well, everything over 8,000 hex is in the high clock speed if it's coming from ROM.
But only if it's ROM. Like if you do full 64K RAM, where you get 2 sets of 32K of RAM.
Yeah, that it doesn't do it. It still it loses video display. It has to be in ROM. It only executes on a CoCo 1 and 2. On a CoCo 3, of course, it was fine, but that wasn't good. That I needed to test it on a CoCo 1 and 2, and I don't have a CoCo 1 and 2. So hence I needed to run it in the XRAW to emulate it and confirm that it did work in at least mid mode.
Because I know that's been a bit of confusion even for me, because I know like Henry mentioned last week, and I think XL Paradise just mentioned in the chat here, like the SAM datasheet says it's address dependent, which means it shouldn't care if it's ROM or RAM, but that's not true. It has to be ROM for double speed. Probably because it corrupts the RAM. The dynamic RAM refresh isn't working right, so ROM you can't corrupt. Right, I'm guessing that's why that works.
I think it does need. It needs to be in ROM. I did notice with the SAM. I won't get into it in detail now. It's not the right time. But I noticed on the ROMs, in setting up the RAM banks, you can set. There's something there about bank 1 and bank 2. On a CoCo 1 and 2, whereby you can choose whether the lower is ROM. Now, I don't know. I didn't experiment with that. I just ran the CoCo 1 and 2 in the standard form, and just verified.
Yeah, because there's two ways to run 64K RAM the way the SAM works. You can either have your lower 32K bank and your upper 32K bank both being RAM, so 64K straight through.
Yep, that's 64K.
Or you can swap the two 32K banks in the bottom half and leave your ROMs in, and some of the stuff like Key 264, a commercial program would switch between two basic programs that way, because basically you kept the ROM intact, and your two programs with their own direct page and everything else all set up would just literally swap between the two, and they wouldn't even notice each other were
I see
running.
What you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it can't the CoCo 1 and 2 can't do the some refreshes to the VDG or whatever, or updating the screen when it's running in 1.79.
Yeah, and eventually the RAM itself corrupts.
Yeah, eventually it'll all corrupt. But when running from ROM, it can sacrifice certain cycles. I guess it doesn't need to do all the refreshing, and it keeps the video display active. And I just had to verify that did indeed work, and that the resulting speed up I would get was okay for the game to proceed. So big tick.
Yeah, I do remember there was, I think it was Color Computer News, they had a music program, one of the 4-voice music ones, and to get a much smoother sounding, they actually kicked in full double speed, and the screen would go bonk because they did it for RAM and ROM. But they would actually kick it down about every 2 or 3 seconds for just a little bit to let the RAM refresh cycle through again. Yeah. That way it would complete the songs. It would never corrupt the memory, but you would still lose your screen. It would just go nuts.
And you didn't need the screen when playing the music anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
I need the screen.
Yeah. Right. You guess what's going on behind the scenes here.
That's right.
Your short range sensors are blown up. Yeah. Type thing. Also, we have a question for you from Paul Shoemaker, who's been actually talking about the Quarks game port here. But since he joined the show a bit later, he's going, sorry, why is Nick a bear?
Yeah, I know. It's I was playing around with the options in in Zoom, and I turned on a bear, and now I can't turn him off. So,
At least
so
you're
you're just
in
like those
court.
politicians and stuff. There,
I'm a bear today. I'm a bear today. Yes.
Yeah, that has been. I swear, Your Honor, I'm not a cat.
Yeah, I assure you, I'm not a cat.
I think if I log out and log back in, because I did make sure I turned it off, but it didn't reset. So probably if I log out and log back in, it fixes me up. But this one looks younger, so I figured I'll keep it.
Right. Nice smooth face.
Also,
Yeah,
Tom
it's
Eric
good.
Anderson is asking, do they have bears in Australia? And then some people are commenting that if they are in Australia, they're probably very dangerous, like everything else down there.
Oh, we do, but they're a lot smaller than the ones in Canada. The koala bears.
Oh yeah, we got the grizzlies and black bears, etc.
But will they kill you?
Koala bears, that's right.
Yeah, they
Will
might still kill you. They're Australia after all.
No, they don't.
Even the insects try to kill you.
Yeah, no, the koala bears are pretty placid unless you really disrupt one. But yeah, they pretty well just sleep all day.
What about the drop bears?
Drop bears? Well, what's a drop bear?
The fictional carnivorous animal.
All right, yeah, no, we don't have those. The only things that drop on us.
You're supposed to. It's a very mean koala.
So yeah. So once again, thanks to Cairin.
Sweet.
Yeah, thank you, Cairin. I know he's done a lot. Like he's the one who's been fiddling with VDG SAM timings to get like hardware smooth scrolling and different byte widths of the screen, which were used by rare games like Guardian, etc., and kind of figure out how all that worked too. So that's invaluable to know. Jim Ryan in the chat says that's the first time I've ever seen Nick move his lips.
That's true. That's right.
Because you're
I
straight
think I'll
static
keep that,
image.
actually. I should turn it back on. I like it.
Let's see a big smile. Does it interpret your smile correctly here?
I haven't got a camera. If I did, it would, yeah.
Oh, because it is moving your lips kind of in time with your voice, but it must be
Picking
just
up the audio,
interpreting.
yes.
Yeah.
It's picking up the audio and doing the mouth. But if I
Yeah,
had
you
a
can get some eyebrows up and stuff.
With the camera, it does. It looks at your eyes and makes the eyes move and your head and everything. But I haven't got that. I've only got a mic.
Okay, well, it's good to hear that is allowing your game project to proceed forward. And you are seeing a speed up. So anybody else who wants to write a game for the CoCo 1 or 2 but needs an extra burst of speed, consider putting it on a ROM card, because then you can actually kick in that double speed without screwing up the refresh. It's not full double speed, but probably between 1.2 to 1.5, 1.6, depending on your code mixture.
Makes a difference, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can see it in basic when you do the speed up poke in a CoCo 1 or 2 basic, because it spends a fair bit of time in the ROMs. It speeds up a fair bit. Some certain things faster than others, but I mean, it became a de facto standard that basic games, after about 82, 83, once Tandy fixed the CoCo board so you didn't have to do modifications and swap caps and stuff to get it to work properly without freezing up, that it became standard even for their stuff.
All right, I can go back to sleep now.
Good evening.
Okay, so you should be seeing Atari Legend here. I'm just waiting for Sleep to pop in and ask what show he's on.
It's happening.
So Atari Legend is publishes interviews with some of the great Atari programmers, Atari ST, Atari 8-bit, etc. So this time they interview Wayne Smithson, mainly going to his Atari ST gaming days, because he did stuff like Oh No More Lemmings and Lemmings 2, The Tribes, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But he got his start on the Dragon 32 before that, and he doesn't go into it in the interview here, though it was pointed out for some people that put the link of this in the Facebook group, that he originally wrote Super Kid on the Dragon. That was his first foray into machine language programming. And Super Kid is like a side scroller with really smooth scrolling. It's got voice synthesis, even some bit of singing and stuff almost in there. I don't think we've played it on the Game On Challenge yet.
I don't think so. It doesn't sound familiar.
But it's a pretty decent game. It's like one of the better looking ones for sure. If I remember, you have to run and jump over stuff. Cairin might remember this better than me because I haven't actually played it, but I've seen it actually demoed a few times. So it's kind of cool to see an interview with somebody. What's the right?
Is there a link to the video? I don't know if I've seen it either.
Yeah, I'm just seeing if I had any screenshots on mail. I don't have it on my side yet either. Let me try the Dragon here. I don't think I have a video of it handy unless it's on.
Oh, okay.
High Retro Game Loader. Actually, he might have it. But yeah, it's one of the very well done. Like, I don't know how well the game plays. Cairin and others can maybe put that into there, or put in the chat there. Like it could be a UK game. It's almost impossible to play because it's too hard. But graphically, it looks really, really good.
P mode 3.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
What was the game called?
Super Kid.
Super Kid.
And it has some singing at the beginning, if I remember, like a hey, Super Kid or something like that.
I'll see if I can find it.
60 in the chat's mentioning here there's a demo of a shooter by him too for the Dragon. I'd love to see that. He also wrote a word processor and some other things. Oh yeah, here we go. Pets asked Jim played it on an emulator, so let's see if that. Fast forward here. It's got a loader screen. I'll just skip into the end of the loader screen here. Okay, let me change my share.
We're getting a few impromptu news items, aren't we?
Yeah. So here's the loader screen.
Oh yeah, he's done a good job.
Looks pretty good.
Doesn't show the game.
I think this one it crashed. I think it was the other video he did where it actually worked. Yeah, this is the game I remember seeing here. I've never seen the loader screen before, actually. I think the name of the obviously. Good music.
Yeah.
You guys getting the music there?
Yeah.
It's a multi-channel, multi-voice, even a little bit of animation while it's playing.
The boogie woogie tune.
Yeah.
Good use of the palette.
Yeah, he is.
See a little bit of parallax scrolling there.
Yeah, no, he's definitely done a good job with this game. Considering you only got 4 colours.
Snails just like Mario.
Yeah. Except you just died.
And the sky is blue and the trees are green. Not Puyan colours.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing.
There's a bonus cherry up in the tree just appeared.
Yep. Now this is a bit slow, so we need to get this on ROM and then up.
But good music, good well done graphics, parallax scrolling effect.
Yeah, no, good job.
Voice synthesis.
And real colours. Only 4, but real colours, not that.
Obviously, you're using a window, so he doesn't have to scroll the whole
it's a
screen.
bit smaller area to
just
deal with. But
a trick used by a lot of CoCo games.
Yeah.
Getting jumping down.
Kind of Moon Patrol-ish a little bit because you're scrolling along, jumping over stuff, trying to catch things. No, nothing to shoot at yet so far.
Hasn't got.
It reminds me of that Dino game. What was it called?
Dino Run. The one Google had.
Wow.
Yeah, good.
So just some comments here from 60. I said after they said the demo of a shooter by the same author on the Dragon as well as some word processor and stuff that he did. He said it's good. It gets a bit hard when there are too many beasts at once bugging you. He wrote the tape sampling published in Dragon User 2 called Soundhouse. So that's why I think you could digitize, stuff that you're reading off the cassette port. Probably that's how he got the voice in there. It's probably his own voice. And he said, yes, loading it from actual tape Super Kid was very flaky. It was recorded right at the limit of the cycle with detection, and the custom loader had very little tolerance. And he said the music was, he thinks, by Chris Jolly, who wrote the music system DAMS, which I have heard of before. We mentioned that during the Dragon special, actually. And also did the music in Fire Force, also published by QuickBeam, the same company that sold this one.
Force was a good one too.
And Fire Force had pretty good music and really good graphics. That game was way too damn hard, though.
Yeah, it was a bit hard.
And he mentions this player is not collecting cherries, which you need for health. I don't know if he figures that out later on in the game here. Oh, here, next stage. Let's see what that looks like briefly. Weapon, no. Oh, got snakes now. And snails. The snakes stay stationary, it looks like, kind of like in Pitfall.
Very Dino Run type game.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks really good. And I mean, that's a pretty damn good game in and of its own, you know. And I know during the interview we had there, he was more talking about the Atari ST, obviously, but he mentioned that for any of those who remember, I did some stuff for the Dragon even before the Atari. So, and this is a pretty good showcase. And some of the other stuff that he's mentioned here, the 60s mentioned here, is actually quite good. I'd like to see that shooter that he was doing, because I know Stuart Orchard did a preliminary shooter too, and of course he did the Time Pilot 84 style clone that was not quite ever finished, but is very good even in its current state, Return of the Beast.
All right, and getting back on track.
Well, that's still on track, because I mean most of us have not seen that game before.
No.
I don't have it on my site. I don't think it's ever been on the Game on Challenge. Anyway, it's a pretty good interview. You can actually through here. He mentioned some of the stuff he did in the Ataris, some of the Amiga stuff that he ported to the Atari ST. And he's still active in the game development community today from the sounds of it. So he's still active on like modern stuff. For those who want to kind of follow that. Next over that, for the Dragon, Julian Brown has received his multi-pack boards and, well, has them for sale for those who want to build one. This works on both the Dragon and the CoCo, as you can see on the masking on the bottom of the board here. And he said the multi-pack boards have arrived on the back of requests at the meetup, selling for £17 plus postage each bear. I can supply programmed gal chips for an extra £5, but may incur a delay as I'm not sure how many I have in stock. So I know a lot of people have been trying to get, you know, multi-packs off of eBay, etc. I imagine really rare in the UK, but even in the States and Canada, they're pretty expensive. So we've got some alternatives. Zipster Zone has the Mega Mini, for example, or the Mini, which is a 2-slot one. The Mega Mini is actually a 4-slot, but it also has a bunch of extra hardware like serial ports, high-speed serial buffered ports, and OPL3 sound chips and stuff like that. But that's not generally manufactured anymore either, and you can't find them. So it's nice that there's some other alternatives out here. I think somebody else was doing a multi-pack. Was it you, Rick, or was it somebody else that's doing another multi-pack?
It was someone else. I noticed this one, though. It's all surface mount except the all-important gal chip, which is just a socket. So you can have it reprogrammed and fix it or whatever you need to do. That's an excellent design.
Yeah.
Because you usually have the big through-hole chips everywhere. It's a giant thing. Or you have the surface mount. You can't have both. And this is both. I like it.
And this one's fairly compact in that it's only going to stick out the width of a cartridge.
The cartridges actually stick out further than the circuit board. Yeah, so it's really
well a little bit, nicely. But compared to the actual the Tandy one.
Well, yeah, because he's got all these
on the right.
He's got all of the proper chips. They're just surface mount. And the one chip that's actually a full-size chip is the one that you need to program. So it's...
But he's got the power supply part at the back, not out the side like on the
Tandy. That helps. That helps, yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing is, too, I mean, this does work on the Dragon as well, but one problem with the multi-pack on the Dragon, which technically works, is that the cartridge slot is much lower on the Dragon in the case. And on the CoCo.
Pack won't fit down that low.
Yeah, unless you pop the Dragon on like a thin book or something like that to hold the rest of it up to match. So getting a bare board like this, maybe you can actually make a bottom 3D printed case, you know, for either. So it's much easier.
You can always put longer feet on it. He's got lots of feet holes, so
yeah.
Forget the case. Just
I noticed Ron's back. So Ron, did you get a chance to check out Spriteworks putting you in his latest little infomercial for his game?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh,
he was
as far as we know.
He mocked you.
Oh well. It was like,
yeah, you were missing in action, so he couldn't recruit you for the.
oh, because of my, yeah, that's all right.
Anyway, you'll have to check it out later and then give us your opinion next week.
All right.
Or check it out while you're watching the show because it's just news, right?
Where do I find it?
Well, yeah, Ron wasn't available because he had a knee operation.
Yeah.
if you go in the show notes, I already got them uploaded in the CoCo Discord in the news topics thing. There, you can find it in there.
All right.
Just look for Spriteworks WRX.
Okay.
You'll see. We understand you're double undercover now, but
okay.
He might have been on the Artemis mission. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Next up, Henry Strickland put up this video with the Copico-Centipede early demo, and this is what he was talking about. I think last week or the week before, where you can take a 16K CoCo and it actually will address 64K through the board on the cartridge slot. Plus, it'll give you disk extended basic ROM will kind of get copied over automatically. Is there anything specific you want to mention here, Henry, or did you want to just play a little clip of it? Or
yeah, this is kind of what I was showing, but now I've got it with Erico's movie that he was showing last week or the week before, where it looks like two people are chatting back and forth to each other. So I'm using that as the payload for my demo. It'll load that off of the virtual floppy. So in this case, the Copico board, which is roughly an RP2350B, that's a bigger version than the microcontroller that's on the PiPico 2. This one has 46 usable GPIO lines, so I can cover pretty much all of the CoCo signals and still have some to spare. And so this is acting as ROM, acting as 64K RAM for a 16K machine, acting as the floppy drive, and also telling the Linux box all of the write cycles, the address and the data that's being written, so that the Linux box can display an uncorrupted screen, while the actual display on the 16K has the same old problem that you have with the Mu card, in that the RAM in there gets overwritten at times that you didn't mean to because it was only 16K.
yeah, I was trying to remember because I remember Spectral Associates way early on, like 82, 83, sold a RAM expansion board that was actually in the cartridge slot, so you didn't even have to open the case. And you get 64K. I can't remember the name of the right off the top of my head, but it sounds like it's kind of the same thing where you're basically doing it through the cartridge port rather than through RAM. And then of course the VDG can't see that, right? It's kind of like the MC10 can't go past the onboard RAM for video, right?
Right. And so Slinby line is used by the cartridge when it says, hey, I'm taking over the RAM, and that tells everything at least in a CoCo 1 and CoCo 2. I've still got some questions about CoCo 3 and Slinby, but at least the CoCo 1 and CoCo 2, it tells all the internal possible sources of reading IO or memory to back off and let me provide it from outside.
My airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty cool because a lot of us were scared to like break our warranties back in the early days there. You know, the 64K RAM upgrade from Tandy was like $200 or something.
Now, did that extension you were just talking about, did it have the VDG flaw?
Yeah, I believe it did. Okay. I didn't see too many of them because once people got kind of used to the fact the onboard 64K was just a lot safer for doing RAM and stuff. Even double stacking chips inside the CoCo, like doing two sets of 16Ks and wiring them together, the VDG could not cross the second chip boundary. So you'd get a screen half legit and half garbage, and then anything on the upper 16, it wouldn't work.
So in this case, if you're exercising Slen B, you are select B. that means that the primary selection, which would normally do the video, isn't available. And you don't have any way to do it for them. So yeah, it's video can't talk here.
Yeah, if you go towards the end after it starts running, you'll see some of the example. Yeah, that looked good. Come on, YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna type. Okay, it's about to go. It's in the wait. That's loading some extra stuff off of disk at this point, off of the virtual
Now
file.
you should explain what the two screens are here.
Now we're running Erica's thing. The bottom screen is an actual screen that's plugged into the 16K RAM CoCo using the RF coming out. Yeah, it's going into an RF detector. And then
that's where you're starting to get the corruption, trying to hit the RAM that's outside.
And it has the corruption. Now you see the corruption on the bottom screen, all those junk at the top. And that's what we're talking about. And it's you know, if you take this approach to extending the RAM on the edge card connector, you know, but with a cartridge, I guess it's just unavoidable. But
so how are you generating the top one then?
The top one of the functions that the Copico card is doing is it's watching the bus and it's watching all of the write cycles. So it knows the pokes to the IO page. So it knows what SAM and VDG mode you're in. It's watching the pokes into video memory. So it knows what's in video memory. And it's telling all of these pokes over the USB cable back to my Linux box, which is the PC that the Copico is tethered from. And then on the Linux box, it can display, because it has full knowledge of every write that has been done by the CoCo. And that's actually the upper screen there is in a web browser connected to localhost 8080 that's connecting to my tether program that's running on that same PC. So I'm taking advantage of the web browser to do the canvas graphics for me.
Okay. Now, if you stay within the 16K RAM, though, does it work right, or is it just corrupt no matter what?
It would work fine if you stayed within the 16K RAM, yes.
Okay.
Interesting.
I say that, I'm trying to think. Yeah. As long as you're not doing writes at pages that shadow into 16K when you only have 16K. If you think of the 64K memory space as being 4 zones of 16K each, a write to the upper zones gets aliased into the lower zone as far as the RAM goes, because it's just not paying attention to the address lines of the high order bits.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like the stack 32K RAM upgrade, because I remember Rainbow at one point published a spinning umbrella program. It's a wireframe umbrella, and they used 18 P mode 0 frames, which used the entire 32K or pretty close to it. And if you ran it on a 32K machine with 64K chips, it would run perfectly fine. If you ran it on a stacked one, it would do about the first half of the animation correctly, and then you get one screen that's split half with the umbrella and half with garbage, and then it's just solid garbage for the rest of it, and then it's cycled back and resynced. I mean, you could play most games if games took 32K of RAM but kept the graphics in the lower part, it worked fine. But anything that tried to map a screen up higher, corrupted.
So now this is only trying to provide 64K of RAM. I would like to do like the Moo does and provide CoCo 3 style memory mapping unit and provide more than 64K RAM. I just haven't gotten that running yet.
So actually having your own 8K MMU basically.
8K MMU.
Like 8K block.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, the exact same scheme. a bit to enable the MMU and a bit to choose which task it's in, and a bit to say that the FE page is frozen as well. Yeah, not that much of it. And then we can run OS 9 level 2 on your 16K CoCo 1.
Nice.
Yeah. Throw a 609 there, get some extra speed while you're at it.
Let me think. Can I do it on a 4K? We have to figure out how to boot. We've got a ROM. That's gonna be a challenge. Yeah, we can, but I don't know how yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't run PMode 3 on that. That's for sure. Now, there's a comment from Sixy here. He says, yes, is it possible the data latch in the CoCo 3 is an issue? Jim Brain's articles on DMA might be useful there. I don't know if you read those.
No, I haven't.
Because he did an article on DMA probably a couple years ago, but it should be on his Go for Retro site somewhere.
Okay, I was just noticing that there's like DMA option on the SAM, and I haven't figured out what that does yet either.
Yeah, and the 6809 support and 6009 support DMA as well, though I don't think Tandy really used it for anything.
But you know, if my memory is a RAM array that's 64K long on the Pico microcontroller, which it is, I don't even have to do DMA to get it into the CoCo. I just write it directly within the microcontroller.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because the GameX and stuff use DMA for some of their disk controllers and stuff.
Yeah, so to some extent, we can do our own fake DMA. like a disk controller does not need to read a data port 256 times. We can just magically make that memory into the
like map it
the
in
backing array.
Right. I am your RAM, and by the way, you think this.
Yeah, and that's what the EMU disk driver, EMU DSK in OS 9 does, or in Nitros 9 does.
Beauty.
Yeah, that would be quite nice, actually. I mean, poor man's DMA for us was a 609's TFM command, but that's...
Yeah, but Magic RAM is better. RAM that just knows the file.
You just send it a sector and read it in, and then bing, here you go. It's all here.
It's all done.
Yeah. So I don't remember right off if that top display also operates in other P modes. I know that's in P mode 1 that I have the code to make it work. And I haven't attempted any of the special CoCo 3 modes that the Gimme does.
Yeah, Erico's demo is just SG4, like the standard text screen. But yeah, you've got some P mode 1 stuff already working on it.
Oh, you're right. That's yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't remember how many modes I've made work, but I've kind of been focusing on the CoCo 2 instead of the CoCo 3 because it's easier and because this can be kind of game changing for your CoCo 1 or your CoCo 2, make them worth a lot more if they can act like they're 64K or more. And
right.
Yeah. I'll say one more comment that 60 just left too, and then we'll go on to the next story. But he says DMA is a video mode setting that doesn't activate any dividers, just counts up. So you can sort of imagine that if there were no video chip, the mode could be used to have the other half of the MPU cycle be used for shifting data around.
Oh, got it. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Sexy.
Next up, Alan Huffman had a couple of posts on his Sub-Etha Software blog. The first one is kind of a hint of some stuff he's going to be doing in the future. So you mentioned the last time that he saw Steve Bjork, and of course, Steve Bjork passed away back in 2023, and none of us found out for months afterwards. He just noticed that he had kind of dropped off gradually. And we know he was, sick with some health issues, though we didn't know that serious. But he mentioned that the last time he saw him was in California when he went to go visit him in 2018. They went to Knott's Berry Farm, and he said Steve was not real fond of being in photos, which is maybe why I cannot find any of him from that visit, but he is in this one. And he's hidden back in the back here, and he points out where Steve is. But basically, the thing of the most importance here is I miss my friend. Now that there's been some time since I learned of his passing, I will try to share some stories of my adventures with Steve. And Alan went and visited him at like Disneyland and all kinds of stuff because Steve worked there at one point, and of course saw each other at CoCoFests and Rainbow Fest and stuff too. So Some of us have had encounters with Steve when he's been at CoCo. He's given lectures and stuff, presentations. I remember meeting him back in Rainbow Fest days there when SRB Software was selling stuff through GamePoint, and he was manning the booth there and showing all the stuff he's doing, like with 3D glasses and all that kind of stuff. So I have some pretty fond memories of him. He also taught Bill Noble and I how to do stack blasting. That was the very first Rainbow Fest I ever went to. I had no idea what that even was until he explained it to us. So I know he was very opinionated on certain things, and that definitely rubbed some people the wrong way. But he was a good programmer, and I mean, he made his living off the CoCo for years, and there's not too many of us that can say that. The other blog post that Alan did was kind of talking about some of the Easter eggs in the CoCo 3, and specifically the CLS 100 Easter egg on the CoCo 3. Now, most people know of the control alt reset or control alt power up for doing the Three Amigos picture. And then following in the tradition of Microsoft, we would do a CLS outside the bounds of 0 to 8. It says Microsoft and clears the screen green. Microware did the equivalent where it's you CLS and it says Microware instead of Microsoft. But there's one special instance, and he actually goes through the code now. It's kind of hidden away. If you do a CLS 100 after power up, you don't get the Microware message. You actually get the name of two of the authors of the CoCo 3 Super Extended Basic. Also authors of some of the stuff for the OS9 Level 2 for the CoCo 3 as well. And that's T. Harris and T. Earls. And you can see a little screenshot I'm showing here on his blog that shows that. And it only works once. So if you do CLS 100 after power up, you'll see that. If you do it any time after that again, it'll say the Microware Systems Corp. So it's kind of a hidden Easter egg, because if you do any CLS of other values higher, it'll give you the Microware and it'll clear the flag that actually does this. So this only works once until you repower up the machine.
So if they caught you at work and they tried to show your boss, it wouldn't work again.
Yeah. It basically will do this one every time. But only if you do it once off after power up, you'll get this instead.
Right.
And only with CLS 100. So then he goes through and he shows, like, in the ROM, it's actually masked. Like, all the bits are inverted, so you have to basically complement it to get the actual text here, so it's not obvious. Kind of like Microsoft did with detecting that Commodore was stealing their BASIC and stuff back in the day, where they hid some
those noise spikes at the end of the sign table.
Yeah. So he goes through basically the assembly from the Super Extended Ravel, etc. Explains how it works, etc. here too. And I like how with one point here he said he even tells you how to modify basics. So you can bring it back so it does happen again after the initial ones. And he tells you how to patch if you want to put your own message in there. But I like this little part here. And then it's more like after you finish explaining how the whole thing works. He says that is probably more than we probably ever wanted to know about how the CLS 100 CoCo 3 Easter egg works. So let's do a bit more. And then he proceeds to go on and restoring it and how to change it. Next up, VCF Montreal, which was this past January. We've already seen the Jim Gary presentation, but they've now put up one of the other ones. And this is Fabian Rodriguez, who's also a regular at CoCoFEST, and he's actually been to VCF West now too, and he's been now at VCF East, VCF Montreal, where he's one of the presenters. So we had some pretty strong CoCo and Hardware Cousins related stuff at the VCF in Montreal, with Jim Gary doing his spot, which covered the MC10 in some detail, along with just his general trying to find old Canadian programs, etc. And then Fabian kind of goes through the history of the CoCo in Canada, how his personal history of the CoCo started, etc. And of course, there's people like John Kowalski, Sockmaster is out there, and Frederick, of course, who's semi-regular on our show, who's out there as well, more recently in the CoCo. But Sockmaster's famous for doing demos and the first publicly available version of doing the triple speed that we've been seeing lately, except he did it a bit differently because he was actually using like stock RAM and stuff. But I'll just play a little clip at the beginning here, but it's an hour-long presentation. Definitely go check it out. It's worth, I think, checking out. Skip it.
The audience here, and today is a very special and emotional day for me. I'm gonna try not to cry. I have my 4 kids in the audience here and my girlfriend. Raise your hands. Yeah. I'm based in Montreal, if you haven't guessed, and it's really nice to be presenting in front of you. Thank you so much. I want to thank, is Nicolas Mayou here? Yes, one of the main organizers.
I'm here at the back.
If you look at the back,
hello.
This guy made it happen. And I hope we have, yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
And I'm a storyteller, and let me tell you about
a little bit here.
Of stuff, and I ended up with 40 plus boxes of stuff, actually. And one of my colleagues and longtime friends, Reynaldo Torres from Colombia, couldn't attend, but we have been making the rounds of the latest. Today I'm gonna, one of them is the color computer history, and the other thing is about our history as a color computer club. And I'm hoping this, I know this will inspire you to start your own retro computer club, whatever allegiance you're of. So, as I said, open source every single. There's people selling this stuff printed on metal plates on eBay. That's how cool these ads are. So, by a raise of hands, again, who here had an actual computer, a color computer back in the day? Who started with a color computer? So look around, okay? All these people are 40 years old or more. Okay.
So I don't know if Montreal generally had a strong CoCo following. I know, John Kowalski was obviously quite famous, especially in the CoCo 3 days. But he kind of goes through like some of the history of, Tandy selling it. He goes a little bit into the Boise's book on the history of the CoCo. Explains what a CoCo is, because of course a lot of people at VCF aren't that familiar with it, etc. Compares it with some of the other machines that are around the time. Mentions sold in CoCo in the United States from launch. Talks about the Mexican clones that were actually used for schools. Talks about the Brazilian clones as well. Talks about the CoCo 3. So primarily in the US and Canada. He did miss Australia. I don't know if he just forgot or not, because it was definitely sold there as well, as I'm sure Nick can attest to. That was the 3D markets it was actually sold in. But anyway, it's a pretty good presentation. Some personal stories in there, and also just some generic stuff on history of the CoCo in Canada in particular, and the history of the CoCo community. So he's talking about stuff like our Discord, or talking about the old listserv stuff, or the the Echo stuff, etc., from FidoNet back in the day, and how the community's kind of like kept itself around. And some of us old timers here have actually been involved with just about every one of those at some point or other, the old BBSs, etc. So I found it pretty interesting, and I think there might be one more CoCo related one, at least CoCo adjacent one from VCF Montreal. So they're gradually releasing the videos of the presentations now over the last few weeks. So hopefully there'll be a few more to come out, and just some generally interesting ones that aren't CoCo related, just in general, vintage computing type stuff. So definitely check those out if you have not. And there is an announcement of the next one coming up, and they're not waiting as long. So we'll cover that when we get to the upcoming shows. Next up, a YouTube channel called Aura Jackal posted the video of how to load programs in through the cassette port on a CoCo, and he's using Bluetooth, sort of. He's using the cassette cable, basically, and he has to go through fiddling with, volume settings and stuff like that to get it to work, but eventually he does get it to work. And he's using the VLC player on his host machine to actually play the audio, and then it comes into the CoCo through the black cable, that would have been in the earphone jack of a cassette recorder back in the day. And, kind of goes through where you have to...
I loaded up Color Invaders off of Bluetooth through this boombox connected to my computer. So yeah, unfortunately, I do not have a joystick to really play this, so you can only see this demonstration here for the time being.
So anyway, it's a kind of, we've had some similar things like this being done by some other people, but it's kind of nice to see it. Another person is kind of discovering how to work this thing, and he actually loaded an actual cassette. He's using Color Invaders by Computerware here, which is, I think, if I remember correctly, the earliest Space Invaders clone. And it's based kind of on the Atari 2600. You can tell by the shapes there. It's more adjacent to that than it is the original arcade game. like say the Spectral Associates Color Invaders that came out pretty close to the same time, a little bit later, I think. But this came out in 81, so this is like pretty early on. The CoCo had been out maybe a year by the time this was out from Computerware. And I don't think we've played that one in the Game On Challenge yet either, if I remember. Or maybe we have. I know there's a couple versions of it too. There's a 1 and 2 player version. There was a later version that came out. You remember, Ken, if we played this one before? Does it look recognizable to you?
I mean, I've played it. I don't know if we've played it on the Game On Challenge, though. I'd have to look it up.
So this is an old classic. Speaking of Ken, and we talked about this a little bit earlier here, but I wanted to show... What's probably the best place to show where you're kind of fiddling with settings to figure out how to desaturate? Here?
Right there. Right where I fired up the...
This comes along with what Mark was talking about. Like, this is when you first turn it on, but the default setting is blown out. You can't even really read the text.
Yeah.
And this is where that remote comes in that you and Mark were showing off earlier, because you can actually go in and change a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. So first thing I did to try to quick scan to see if through the frequency.
Now, these settings, can you change these and save them as a profile, or do you have to go reset each machine?
They automatically. You have one setting to basically. You've got your user setting here, so it saves it when you change it. There's like a few different pre-made settings, and then one user mode, which basically saves it as for whatever you put it to. So.
Now, since the CoCo's spec with NTSC is a little bit off compared to what it should be, can you use one of the standard built-in settings for like your Atari 8-bits or some of the other machines in television, etc.?
Yeah, like when
I was playing tweaking?
When I was playing that Tandyvision 1 earlier, the Intellivision clone, that was completely on the standard setting.
And how about the Atari 8-bits, etc.? Do you have to tweak those, or?
I had a 2600 running a little bit later, and it was a little bit dark colored, but it wasn't too bad, so I didn't have to change it much.
So is the CoCo basically the only one that you really have to change it to get it to work?
The ColecoVision I had to fiddle with a little bit too. I didn't actually film anything on that one, but here you can see even when I stuck Megabug in after I had done the changes, it was a little off on the color, so I actually had to tweak it to make Megabug look better, because it should have the white border, whereas it has a very yellowish border here.
Yeah. So basically, if you have a bunch of multiple machines from that time era that are RF based, you probably want to write down your settings for each and then just tweak it for whichever one.
Pretty much. So I think let's see. Yeah, here I do a little bit of messing around.
And does that provide the sound? Because of course, with HDMI, they have to pay the licensing fee to put sound through.
Yeah, the sound comes right through the HDMI cable. So
that's the beauty of it being a cable box, right?
Yeah,
you get all the licensing.
So yeah, just a quick little adjustment, and you can see how much better Megabug looks.
Yeah, the yellow's almost washed out to white, like it should be, and it's doing artifact colors, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to see Ken kind of going through exactly what it is, he actually takes the thing apart so you can see what's inside of it. He runs it on multiple different machines just to show you what it kind of looks like and some of the tweaking, what options you have for the tweaking, which I think it's his biggest selling feature, to be honest, that you can actually tweak it, because a lot of these other ones are you're basically stuck with whatever you got, and if it just looks oversaturated, you might have to like modify hardware to fix it up. In this case, you just bring up the menu and away you go.
Get your handy remote.
And just so everybody knows, because I see Kevin Holloway was just asking in the chat, in our show chat here, it's just on Amazon. So I picked this up.
Yeah, and you said only like 30 some odd bucks Canadian, so that's pretty cheap.
And I guess so far as we know, the only one, if it looks like this, it is this. There aren't any fake ones.
Yeah, it looks like there's a bunch of different sellers on Amazon. Like these are just the Chinese drop shipped things. So I'm sure you could probably get them a little bit cheaper on something like Temu. You could probably buy, a box of 100 of them and sell 99 of them.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, going from RF, which is pretty crappy, to HDMI in one tiny little box instead of having multiple stacked like SCART adapters, etc. It's looking pretty good.
And just a couple of little adjustments to make it all work.
Yeah,
you can do with a remote. Yeah, that's incredible.
So yeah, there I'm running. That's the Atari 2600 there, pole position. I didn't actually play it. I just this is where I go through what all is on the menu.
Atari 2600 or is this Atari 800?
2600. It's my junior.
Oh, okay. Actually looks better than I thought the 2600 version looked.
Looks better than it would look on the TV.
I think you showed off the Tandy Vision, the television clone that Tandy sold.
Yeah. Yeah. You go back a little
With
bit.
Dungeons and Dragons, which is an awesome game on that system.
Yeah.
It's not a clone, it's just a rebadge.
Yeah, it's a rebadge.
Yeah, Mark Siegel's talked about it. They had an arrangement to do that.
It's got the wood grain.
Right.
Yeah. Proper 70s machine.
Which is interesting because I remember a couple of years ago at VCF Midwest, I showed this to LGR because he's such a fan of anything wood grain, and he was kind of like, "Oh wow, I've never heard of that."
Plastic wood.
I do remember them advertising in the old catalogs, like the 81 or something like that. The big, the big thick one they had in there. Oh yeah, here's where you're pointing out. This is a factory unmodified. One, so.
And roll.
Warranty sticker's not even punched through.
Goes to show the quality of the Tandy computers.
And a 4-digit serial number.
That's actually something funny to watch when on Facebook and stuff. When people come in, I just picked up a CoCo 1 or 2 at a garage sale, whatever here. Do I have to replace all the caps? Because that's pretty well a standard feature.
Right.
Retro
Yeah. And everyone says, "Oh yeah, you've got to."
Yeah, and most of the time on the CoCo you don't. You occasionally you'll get some, but
once I've come across that once on the CoCo.
Things break sometimes, but yeah.
Where there was one cap that it wasn't even that bad, but it was just very, very slightly bulged. So.
Yeah, rather safe than sorry.
Exactly.
Anyway, go check out Ken's video. It's pretty good. I think I might have to look into getting one of these myself. Because my
definitely, if you have, if you're like me, definitely the reason I definitely had got it was because I like to keep a few examples of these machines that are unmodified.
Yeah,
right. So this thing is definitely not plug and play. You do have to go through the settings and
you have to tune it in.
But you don't have to monkey with your hardware. You just hook up.
And if you're only hooking up a CoCo, you do it once and you're done.
Yeah, once you know what to do, you're settings. Done. But I like Ken's idea because I've got 10,000 things to hook up. I'm not going to make a video adapter for every one of them. I can hook this thing.
You just write down the settings and just tweak it when you need. Yeah.
Yeah, and the next time I pull up my Post-it, modify my hardware again with my little remote. I like that idea.
Yeah, because I have Jason's SCART adapter, but I've gone through 2 of those HDMI black box things, and the first one just didn't work very well at all. The other one worked for a couple months and then just stopped working. I can't get a picture out of it now. So.
Well, the HDMI you're getting out of that SCART adapter through Jason's switcheroo is definitely way better than what you're going to get out of this.
Yeah, but this one works.
But the boxes are just not reliable.
But
I've got a golden one. And then I've had like 5 others that died.
You also can't use the switcheroo on the CoCo 1 and 2, so.
Yeah.
Well, there's that. Yeah, you got to get to SCART before you can do any of that.
So I have seen that this box actually works a little better feeding it through a SCART adapter.
Mm-hmm.
It cleans. I think it cleans up the HDMI signal better.
Like as I was saying, I just ran this straight into my capture card and I didn't have any problem whatsoever.
Well, liked it good enough once you tweaked your... Yeah.
And as I said, I did have to do the tweaking to it, but with
if I can do it with buttons and not soldering iron, I'm happy.
Yeah, there, you sold me. No soldering iron. Nah, I'm in.
30 seconds, just click, 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 click. There.
My hair is doubly in.
Play.
Anyway, definitely go check it out. It's a really good price too, and like Ken mentioned, if you have CoCo 1s or 2s of the RF, and there's RF on a CoCo 3, so you could technically use it on there.
Well, that's
as you
that
pointed
video I
out,
showed at the start of the show was through
yeah,
the RF.
I mean, 80
on my
columns will
CoCo
be a
3,
bit sketchy unless you do like black on white characters and change your palette a bit, and even then it'll be a bit, frayed, but it still works. Next up, Don Sorensen, who's been buying up a couple things from AC's 8-bit zone, including the Gimme Z and the CoCo DV, etc. Has been posting quite a few entries here of getting these things up and running. He had some issues before, which turned out he plugged in the chip, I think, flipped 180 degrees or something like that. So he got that fixed a little bit later on. But he's, as he mentions here, he really likes he's not too much of a fan of having to modify a case to, add in connectors, etc. here. So he wanted to do something fairly professional to get his HDMI thing, and he said he found some panel mount HDMI ports on Amazon, cut the end off of one and took the guts out. And then he later on installs it in the CoCo. It actually looks pretty good, and it doesn't modify the case too much. I know Bob Emery has done quite a few of these little case mods too to add HDMI, et cetera, too, and he does a really good job at it. I'm not mechanically inclined, so if I did, I'd probably wreck the half back in the case entirely and just have it hanging loose anyway. But yeah, there's definitely some solutions here, and using some pre-made parts like this is pretty decent too. So if you're up for that kind of modification, it definitely might be worth looking at. Next up after that, we have Rich Stevens, and he says, after Jim Bob's post with the Julia Set Basic program, he decided to adapt the basic code to C. This binary version can do both 4 and 16 color Julia sets. We also have some of these fractal generating things on EOU that were written by Frank Bravancia, if you want to try some basic 9 versions of these. So the 16 color one took 2 hours, 56 minutes, and 21 seconds. I can't remember how long Jim Bob's was quite a bit longer than that, because it's, of course, using floating point math. And he actually showed a screenshot. So here's a screenshot of what it looks like in the 16 color drawing these. And of course, people that are fascinated with math and fractals, etc., love doing this. There's different sets too. Julia's just one of the sets for fractals. But anyway, you can actually go in, if you're on the CoCo Facebook group, you can actually go in there and then go to the files section and actually download the disk image with this already pre-done for you and just plug it into your CoCo SDC or plug it in your emulator and give it a shot. Thomas Cherryholm, so there was questions about getting the printer driver stuff in FujiNet working with the CoCo. And because they're using DriveWire as the base protocol for this, Robert Galt some time ago for DriveWire itself, the physical version of it had patched BASIC for HTB DOS to use the DriveWire printing functions. So if you do a print number -2 or you do an list, the line printer list command in BASIC, it'll get redirected through and actually print properly to a DriveWire printer, which is basically just a capture on the PC, and then you can you have options to dump it to a PDF or whatever. And Thomas went and checked it and verified that this does work. So you can, if you have a basic program that was like printing banners or something like that, going through the basic ROM routines to do it, or using the print number -2 commands or the list commands, etc. in BASIC itself, those will work with FujiNet. You can dump it out to another one. Now, if you got something that's talking to the Bitbanger port directly, like a lot of the commercial software did, mainly because they want to probably run it, higher baud rates and stuff than BASIC normally would support, that won't work because it won't be able to capture that. But if you're using legitimate, quote, basic calls to printer functions, those will work, which is actually good to know. Next up on the files section here, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I mentioned Sorensen's putting up these Julia disk images. Or not Don Sorensen, so Rich Stevens. But also Brian Palmer, fellow Aussie to Nick, has been bringing up some old pictures that he drew or converted from the Tandy 1000 and IBM PCs. He converted to CoCo 3 Basic, Super Extended Basic, because the graphics modes are pretty similar to some of the CJ EJ stuff. And then he also did some other ones that were written by some other Australians that got published in some of the Australian CoCo magazines, like Australian Rainbow, etc. So he's actually saved a lot of these in disk images. You can go find some of these here too, like Punk 2 and Tomcat. That's the ones that Brian has retyped in and then uploaded the actual disk images. You can actually take a look at the CoCo 3 graphics images there too as well, which is kind of cool. And this is a Jim Gary, I think. Yeah, satellite. This was ported from the Atari to the MC10. and it's called Satellite. So it draws kind of a planet Death Star. I'm not sure exactly what it's supposed to be. I haven't seen the original Atari program. And does some little animations. I think he's using SG6 here too, the 64x48 we mentioned earlier, slightly high res because the pixels are a lot more square than normal, instead of being kind of elongated vertically. And they also converted a Commodore PET graphic of the Mona Lisa to the MC10, which he also posted a little video of it in the MC10 group on Facebook if you want to take a boo at it over there. And the disk image actually can be downloaded as well if you want to do it. And he has to kind of cycle through the colors as it's drawing here, so you can see it in basically a 2-color mode, but you get to pick black and whatever the 8 available colors the CoCo has. And the last one I have for the news, Walter, I don't know how to pronounce the last name. I think it's Maraglia. My apologies if that's wrong. I do recognize that name. I think he was active on either the CoCo list or he was active on the FidoNet CoCo and or OS9 Echoes back in the 80s and 90s. I do recognize his name. He was pretty active back then. And what he's done here is he's installed into his MC10 a 32K RAM board that's internal. So this will give you 32K of RAM, and there's an MCX basic. He actually shows a screenshot of it booting up, so it actually recognizes the RAM. But because it's on board on the main motherboard, I believe this is one of those ones where you can actually have the video use all 32K. We were talking about with Henry Strickland earlier. So this means, you know, doing P Mode 3 and P Mode 4, which is normally 6K, and the 4K onboard RAM on the MC10. You can turn the mode on, but it'll just repeat part of it, you know, because it wraps around at the 4K mark. Even if you have a 20K RAM expander, 32K RAM expander, 128K RAM expander, none of that's on board, so the VDG has no idea it's there. But because this one's internal, I think this one actually does let you do up to 32K RAM, so you could actually, you know, use some of the higher res modes, etc., with no problems at all. And MCX Basic does have modifications. Even if you do the 8K hacks to the onboard RAM, you can get P Mode 3 and P Mode 4 fully controllable. This looks a little bit cleaner than, you know, some of the hacks I've seen onto the main motherboard of the MC10 itself. So I don't know if any of you have ever tried this particular one. It is an open hardware thing. I don't know if it really says who did it. KW 2025, so I'm not sure who KW is. Ken Waters, did you do this?
No, not that I know of. I mean, yeah, of course I did.
I did notice he's got a Hitachi 6803 chip in here, which is, I think that's the exact clone. It's like the 6809 Hitachi one, which is basically 6.
Ken Wilmot.
Wilmot, okay.
Captain Kirchhoff.
Yeah, Captain Kirchhoff. I was just going to say that. So that's one I think he's talked about on the show then.
Yep.
Now, the 6803 from Hitachi, I think it's just a literal clone. It was just a second source from Motorola. But the 6303 or something like that, isn't that the one that has some enhancements? I remember it's like the 6309, not quite as extravagant as that, but it does add some extra features. So good to see that somebody else is actually using his design here. And if they become not too hard to install, or we get people that can install them for people that are too nervous about it, then maybe we can get some games and programs that actually require, you know, some of the higher res graphics modes without having to repeat the screen.
So it looks like a bunch of bodge wires running around there, and maybe that's where they did the alterations to stop the flawed video.
Yeah, because it does look like there's some stuff here on the pins on the 6803, so that might be, you know, the address lines for the video or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they might have had to do some stuff with address lines in order to stop it from aliasing other addresses.
Yeah. Yeah, good to see that some of Ken's stuff has actually been used by other people now too. And all good to see an old name I recognize from way back in the day. Back in the 80s,
really like
90s.
the lack of insulation on those bodge wires. Just a little enamel, you know, that's all you really need. the copper just lay right on the other copper, and you know.
Well, less resistance that way. It should run faster, right?
Oh yeah, there's inductance and ringing and stuff.
Not slowed down by all that slow insulator.
Exactly. Anyway, that's it for the news. So I'm just going to quickly run through the upcoming shows. There are some additions to it. And I think Mark was actually putting these out literally about 2 hours after I found them myself.
I was just looking at the VCF list. Hey, Ken, did you post a link to where you got that RF to HDMI adapter from?
I did not. I just
Somebody
I did-
All over.
yeah, like there's about 10 different sellers on Amazon that sell them. So
And the
it
way
depends on where
Amazon
you are.
usually works, where you are is which one's the cheapest one to get.
Yeah, that's
So
the
the
thing.
best
is
one
that
for Ken is not the best one for me. It's not the best one for you.
I had somebody look at. I did send that link to somebody else, and like I paid $36 for it. I sent it out to somebody in Ontario, and it was $52 there. So it's like.
I bought one for $42 after you showed it today on Amazon. There was one for $42.
I think the important thing, so far as we know, the one that looks like this is it. There aren't any.
Yeah, here,
fakes
just a second.
yet.
I'll bring up Amazon and.
Because like on the other thing, there are fakes that look just like the real one, on the SCART capture thing. But this one so far doesn't seem to be that way.
Looks like my Amazon shows one that looks very much like your box for $39.98.
Here, I'll share this page.
Sort of $40 US is our target.
So you can see here. I mean,
yeah.
I don't. The black ones, I don't know. I have no idea what they.
Right, but the light
But,
rose color or salmon.
Yeah, the rose-colored ones. There's also a white-colored one here that has a completely different end on it.
Yeah,
So,
you don't need
the color is your warning.
Yeah. Now that one is HDMI to RF.
Oh yeah, that's one. That's
Yeah.
one that's HDMI to
Okay.
RF.
I mean, you see the word modulator. That's not what we're looking for.
Yeah, demodulator. So I think this
The one that says purchase April 2026 is probably yours.
Yeah, this one. Oh, the price has gone up on it already. Because it was
Yeah,
the
there's
37
but it went
dollars
down
when I
on the
bought
guy
it.
next door. So yeah.
Well, Ken,
yeah,
you made
I
a
bought
run
that
on
one.
it.
Yeah, there you
made
go.
him had a run.
Yeah, you bought one. It choked him out.
Yeah.
That beige exile. I think it's more like a salmon.
Yeah, William anything in the chat says he ordered his on AliExpress for $34.
In real life, it kind of looks like a rose pink almost.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, rose
it's
gold
Rose
is what I would
gold.
call it.
Come on.
Rose gold.
yeah.
Okay, a rose gold.
That's why I said salmon.
I think it's copper. You're all wrong.
Varnished copper. Yeah.
But I see him for about
No.
25 on Ali right now.
Beige.
Yeah, that's on
I think I'll go
AliExpress.
Beige.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah. So
So
right
the-
now on my Amazon, it's listed for $39.98.
That's what I got too.
Well, don't forget my prices here are Canadian too. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, so like $39 would be more like
Yeah, that'd be probably the
$30
same one here. The
American.
$48
They officially say
$48
it's,
Canadian one.
they officially call it beige.
Yeah, I think I
so
chose that one because it's
beige.
actually
I don't
it's
know what
actually
sort of
one that's
I always see beige as a light brown color, not a pinkish rose
Right. No, this
or
is
a
this is
salmon
not beige.
Yeah, it's closer to a white. That's why they nicknamed the generic PC
You can't see the
cases to be
metallic in
beige
the-
boxes.
in the color.
There's no
Yeah,
bit
there's-
of white in this at all.
No, there's some metallic in it, isn't there? It certainly
Yeah.
looks like there is.
You can't really see it in the pictures, but it's a metallic copper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Rose
so.
gold.
Okay.
It's Apple's favorite term for that for their
Right.
Yeah,
laptops.
okay, I'll give it metallic copper. Yeah, we'll say that.
That'll work too.
You could probably touch it up with a Sharpie, one of those.
Oh, when the
Sharpies.
gold Sharpies.
Just spray paint it black, then you'll be fine.
I don't know. I think as light as this thing is, that it feels the way it feels is probably if you scratch the paint, it would break the plastic.
Oh,
Is it plastic?
Yeah,
Or reinforce
okay.
it.
it's very light.
Okay.
I don't
No,
know.
it
looks like
almost
the-
looks like a metal. So
Yeah,
okay.
it sounds like a metal.
Oh, it's plastic.
You know what? Camera's making it look lighter than it really is.
Oh, my camera's not even on, so I can't even be
Yeah.
there.
It seems metal. Real thin. Real thin metal.
It feels pretty. When I opened it up, the inside feels very plasticky.
Okay.
it's a gold paint on the outside.
Yeah, it's the copper paint. It's a copper paint that makes it feel like the metal.
Okay.
The color is tricking your mind, Mark.
It's actually an
I'll go
eggshell.
with you.
If
Since you
push
took
it,
yours
it'll-
apart, I don't need to take mine apart.
It's ecru. No.
If you want to see it taken apart, Ken's already got that on his video. Just go check that out.
Oh yeah, you can see the guts without.
It consists of a couple of small mice, a wheel, and no, I'm just kidding.
My favorite part, though, in the video is let me just see here. That I did in my video there is come on, mouse. So looking at these pictures that they have listed with the box here, well, you can definitely see that from the size of that joystick, that's a Commodore 64 Mini.
The teeny tiny HDMI anyway.
Yeah, and the box isn't even hooked up to it. There's no wires coming out of the box. And then this one...
the weird Nintendo AI generated thing.
Those guys are the same person. Just different colored shirts. And it's a Nymphenro that they're playing.
Yeah, because when you're drawing cartoons, you can't use copyrighted names.
But also, the box is not even in the picture.
It doesn't exist.
The Nymphembros just hook straight up to the TV.
Just hook straight up.
So...
Hey, maybe they're identical twins.
It always makes it a little sketchy when all of the pictures that they show of the product in use are AI generated.
Right. Well, and I've noticed that's the thing. AI can't use copyrighted names or they'll get sued for copyright infringement because it's not an actual shot. It's an invented work. So they've got to be Nintendo or.
But if you look at the next picture down,
ladders that I saw today.
Yeah, if you look at the next picture down, they're actually using copyrighted names.
Yeah, well, that's because it's actually showing.
Oh, if they get an actual picture of things, then yeah, that's okay.
So these are the actual items, like Atari 2600.
But an invented AI picture can't use copyrighted trademarks in the invented AI picture.
But where's the CoCo?
Yeah,
where's the CoCo?
Oh, no one cares about us, eh?
You should send them a notice that it does work on the CoCo, and they can add that to the list.
Actually,
photograph.
What other thing did I try it with that was interesting? What the heck is the name of that thing? Just 1 second.
Uh-oh.
Just need to take yourself a photograph using it and maybe Photoshop in a sixth finger.
Curtis, are you eating pistachios?
Nope, peanuts.
Peanuts.
That's my breakfast and lunch.
There you go.
I think the biggest selling point for this thing should be it also works with the Socrates.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that super common machine.
That's smart.
That Aaron and Brent love so much.
I love this thing. I mean, it's actually got a wireless keyboard from like 1981 or 2 or whenever this was made.
IR or what?
Yeah, it's probably like the PC
IR.
Junior where you walk in front of it, it quits working.
Yeah.
And it's completely run on batteries.
Yeah, big old carbon zinc batteries from.
Yeah. What does it take? Like I think 6 double Ds or something like that.
Wow.
Right.
Oh my God.
Keeps it anchored.
You need quite a few of those Radio Shack battery cards for that.
Yep. So this is the battery compartment here, and it goes all the way
all
in.
the way across.
Wow.
So it's got 4 or 6 or 8?
It's 6.
Yeah, 8 D cells.
So literally half the case
3 D
is the whole
cells on each
batteries.
side.
That'll give you what 2 hours of playtime?
Right.
If that.
If you can manage to play this thing for 2 hours.
Right.
It's basically an educational system, so.
Yeah, Brent and Aaron reviewed it. I think they've had it on AOG Presents a couple of times now.
Yeah. It's an
This is the first time I
interesting
ever heard of it.
machine, and it actually could have done, like I took it apart, and the hardware in it is really good. It's just kneecapped. They kneecapped it to make it a kid's educational system.
Right,
But they
right.
really used actually a pretty good chipset in there that you could actually play real video games and stuff on, but...
I thought we were
just
doing
need to-
upcoming events.
We're getting there.
We are.
Oh, okay.
We're just trying to pad out the show here a little bit.
Well, we had a question in the chat, and so I tried to get it answered. And we did.
Yeah. We were answering whether Curtis is eating pistachios.
Yeah.
No, the one before that.
And then we kind of went off on a tangent.
Yeah, oh, we're down the rabbit hole.
Every once in a while we do that. Like pretty well every episode, multiple times.
You guys ever seen this game?
Ooh, what is that?
Little handheld controllers.
Got it come off.
I can't see it. It's tiny.
It disappeared.
Somebody zoom up.
It's a
Zoom up,
unisonic.
Ron.
Stop sharing so we can
Zoom up,
highlight it.
Mr. Deluxe.
It's a unisonic.
Hold on a second. I got to.
Oh, geez.
I got to
It's
rechange
another
everything.
Strange
That thing
machine.
take 8-track tape.
There we go.
Right.
Wow.
Olympian 2600?
Oh, analog.
It's a unisonic products corp. F.
But it's
chrome?
shiny.
Is that a Palm on a chip with lots of chrome?
Is that from the late 70s or early 80s, Ron?
I think so.
Must be an Atari 2600 clone.
200 milliwatts.
It's a Pong on a chip.
Yeah, it's a Pong game.
7800. It uses
With every kind of paddle game, but you get to grab your solid metal controllers and whack your kid brother with it.
What's it say? Speed inhibit, right handicap, left handicap, volume. Then it's got all those squash, practice, soccer. Pretty cool. Huh? I ran across it somewhere. Garage sale.
That's cool. Yeah.
$10.
Ken, I'm trying to remember. Do we see one of these at the VCF Midwest warehouse?
We saw a lot of Pong things. I don't know whether we saw one of these.
One of them or not.
I've never
Saw a
tried
lot of
it.
everything.
Right.
It has the cord that goes to the TV. It's, part of it.
Right.
And, but I don't know that it has an input for power.
Looks like it has a battery door on the bottom.
Yeah, it looks like there's a battery door on the back, isn't
yeah,
there?
maybe so.
Yeah, because the Pong things didn't draw a lot of juice, so it cost too much to make a power supply. So you just put
8Ds.
batteries in.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to have to run it with 8Ds, just like the...
There you go. Yes. Anchor
No
that
battery.
sucker down.
There is no batteries.
No batteries?
Oh,
No,
that's cord storage?
Just empty?
Yeah. Can you see?
So there is a power thing somewhere. I
Yeah.
just don't know where.
Well, there is a right there.
Oh, Jack.
Any oddball connector can be, that can be power.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll probably be power.
is.
But it doesn't say so.
It doesn't matter.
It
It
does
didn't
not.
back then. No, you got the thing that came with your thing, and that's what you had. You didn't have any other electronic stuff
Thing
around.
and
So.
thing and the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing was just the thing. It's cool though. I like the old chrome and
Yeah. That's the first time I've seen one of those with the chrome and everything. The chrome knobs, the chrome sides.
Yeah, Unisonic Olympian 2600. Wonder where they
it
got
was a name. Yeah, Unisonic was a thing back then.
That was probably to fool grandma into buying you that, thinking they're buying you an Atari 2600.
Maybe.
Yep. It looks kind of impressive for what it is.
Yeah.
And it's the right shape for an Atari 2600, but
Yeah, it's
not
kind of as
quite
big
the right thing.
and yeah.
Okay, that's it for me. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Okay, so upcoming shows. Next week. You guys seen this or?
Yeah, it came up.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Okay.
20 minutes since we announced the upcoming shows.
Yeah, so next week is VCF East, April 17th and 19th at the Info Age Science and History Museum in Wall, New Jersey. Peter Zatinsky of the Terra City Trash Talk crew is going to be on the Podcasters Roundtable. And of course, they cover CoCo stuff, and he's one of the main guys behind Tandy Assembly, too. So, have they got scheduled computer classes, etc.? I don't know if there's any CoCo stuff related. I know they had quite a bit last year. The Wild Bits computer, that's that Phoenix renamed, isn't it? So that actually has OS 9 and Basic 9 on it, so kind of related.
Right.
.602, some MIDI stuff. Oh yeah, Nitrous 9. There we go. Anyway, I think Sloopy's, is he planning on attending that this year? I don't know if he's still on the call or not.
I do believe he is, along with Wingnut.
So both of you are going to be going?
Yes.
Can you do a live stream?
Maybe.
Okay.
Actually, no, I can't because I ran out of data on my phone.
So Wingnut can, hopefully.
Yeah, Wingnut should be able to.
Yeah, we'll use up his phone. That'll work.
Yeah. I think he's got unlimited, so you're good.
Cool. Next after that, of course, is the big one for the CoCo community. That's CoCoFEST. Coming up pretty darn quick now. It's just a couple of weeks away. And you guys kind of did an update, I think, earlier in the show about, you know, table availability and all that kind of stuff. So there's to be a fair number of vendors out there. And of course, that's in the Chicago area. And this is the 34th annual. And that they basically picked up where Rainbow Fest left off. And that's at the Holiday Inn and Suites in Carroll Stream, Illinois. Same place it has been for the last few years. That exact same weekend, if you're in South America, you can go to the very first VCF for Latin America, VCF LATAM, LATAM 2026. This covers all retro computers, including home consoles, home computer systems themselves, like home electronic stuff, terminals, as you'll see an ADM 3A, for example. And that's taking place way down in Bahia Blanca, I hope I pronounced that correctly, on April 24th, 26th in Argentina. I'm hoping maybe we get some people that are from Brazil. Something might be going to that might be able to help get some pictures for us. So we're maybe we can do a bit of a live stream there too when we get to that show. What are we doing for the show for CoCoFEST? Actually, that's one thing we should probably hammer out and let people know exactly what's going to be happening.
I'll attempt to do some sort of a static live stream.
Okay, so we might just have kind of like a chat room set up and then a live stream. People maybe come by and type hello and stuff, that thing.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be even that interactive.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
We give it a whirl, right?
Yeah, we'll give it a whirl. Also depends on what bandwidth is available.
It's not like the Schaumberg thing where they have the big Verizon tower inside the meeting hall with you. We gotta get whatever we can get.
I think I did some last year.
Yeah, some of it worked.
So I'm gonna do the similar kind of setup.
And I think they like Randy and stuff try to stream the presentations and stuff over YouTube Live too. So that's another way to interact, I guess. I don't know. Anybody pay attention to the chat there or not, but you should be able to watch some stuff live.
It's either that or I'll be showing old shows.
Yeah. Welcome to rerun season.
Right.
Next up after that is VCF Pacific Northwest returning for the first time in 6 years.
Yay!
This is in Tukwila, Washington. This is one that Marco Borges, who you just heard yell yay, is attended before back in its old incarnation and is at this one as well, as he's on the schedule for presentations or for exhibits,
Nope,
I should say.
just exhibits. Yeah.
What's the screen share?
Pardon?
I don't know. Screen share?
I see a cursor. That's all I see on a black screen.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
I see
we see
Curtis's
words.
screen.
Yeah, it's you, man.
Yeah, I just played the stream for a second here. I'm seeing the shared screen, so I'm not sure what's going on on your end.
No, it's looking normal, both on
Twitch
YouTube
looks
and-
good. Zoom looks good.
Yeah, Zoom looks good. We're focused on Curtis's screen. So.
Yeah. So that's nice to have that one back. Kind of the sad story of why it stopped, but you guys are bringing it back, so that's good.
Yep,
That's
there's
May
interest.
2nd to the 3rd.
It'll be exciting to see how many people show up.
Yep. Next after that, the Brazil Color Computer Club has announced that the 10th meeting, since they kind of reconstituted, will be on May 2nd. So the same weekend as VCF Pacific Northwest. And they've got some details here of where to sign up for it. And if you're a member of the Clube Color Brasil group on Facebook, you can keep up to date there. They do have some people there that speak pretty good English, Erico being one of them, for example. And if the others do speak some English too, I imagine most of it will be in Portuguese. But they've been doing some really cool stuff with hardware and even some software and stuff lately, kind of on their own branch with all the the clones that they had back then, like CP400, CP402, and a whole bunch of others that I can't remember off the top of my head. But it'd be pretty interesting to see what they've got going at their next meeting. Amigos Retro Gaming, so that's Brent and Aaron and John. They're doing their International Color Computer Club show, which they do a few times a year, live streaming on their Amigos channel. There's been CoCo content there before from Nick, myself, and a few others. 7 guests were already booked as of a couple weeks ago. I didn't get a chance to check before the show today to see if that's been added to. It starts at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time on their YouTube channel, so it'll just be a live stream. And they do tend to interact in the chat too. So if you have any questions on any presentations, this will be covering all kinds of retro. It could be retro furniture, it could be retro computers, it could be retro card games, whatever. It's basically anything retro. Focused more obviously on computers and home game consoles and that kind of thing. Next after that is VCF Southwest, May 29th to 31st at a new location at the Weston Dallas Fort Worth Airport. Of course, this is right near where Tandy was, so some of the Tandy alumni, including Mark Siegel and others, usually attend this. So if you want to meet some of the people that are behind the CoCos and the Tier City Model 1s and et cetera, this is a good chance to meet it up. Mark Mosley, I believe you've been to this multiple times. I think,
yeah.
Bob Emery, you might have been to this as well. It's not too far from you. You're muted.
Couple of times now. It's a pretty good time.
And from what I understand, this new location has actually got a lot more room because it was kind of split apart into multiple buildings or something, I think, the last couple of years. So hopefully it's easier to get around. And if you're flying in, obviously it's a lot easier because it's like right near the airport. You probably don't need to take a shuttle or anything. I don't know.
I love Google. The Weston Airport, Dallas, is 23 miles from SMU. So that's your drive, boys and girls. Because the other one was at SMU, right?
Yeah. No, it was, I worked at SMU. The other one was at
University of Dallas.
University of Dallas, yeah. It's up in Richardson, actually.
Oh, okay.
So it's even further.
Yeah, it's hard to get old.
This will be an interesting presentation here. From time sharing to the desktop, multitasking took over 20 years to come home. And of course, time sharing was what they did in minis and mainframes. Basically, because those machines are so friggin' expensive, you could just rent time to log in a terminal, you get your certain allocated time to do it, or certain allocated CPU time to run things in the background. It said the presentation examines how these early principles were eventually incorporated into microcomputers, leading to a convergence by the late 1980s. Multitasking did not arrive on the desktop. It was incorporated from decades of primary from experience. Now, of course, OSN Level 1 and the CoCo came out in 83, and that's the first, generally broad micro I remember ever having a multitasking operating system. And of course, Level 2 really punched it up. Mind you, by that time, we started getting some cooperative multitasking stuff like Mac OS and the early versions of Windows up there, version 3. So it'd be kind of interesting if they're going to even mention the CoCo and OS 9. I'd be kind of curious if they're going to know that part of the history or not. Being in Tandy's backyard, I'm hoping they do.
All right. Mark will
Next
go
after that
punch him.
is, sorry, what was that?
Mark will go punch him.
Yeah. Next after that is RetroFest 2026. This is one in the UK, which has been covered up multiple times. A lot of the people that are involved with the Amiga show, including some of the people that publish Pixel Attic magazine, which is a retro computing magazine from the UK, are sponsors of this. And Boat's actually been to it, I think. He's been to some of the stuff. It might be the Amiga one he's been to. This is a general one, though, for all retro computers, including the Dragons. And this is taking place May 30th to 31st at the Steam Museum of Great Western Railway in Swindon, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. both days. And there's confirmation that a Dragonet with FujiNet will be running the show. So if you're in the UK and you can make it out to this, it might be worthwhile seeing that, because I don't think that's really been publicly shown off too much before. And I'd be interested to see what kind of custom things they've done with the Dragon that might be a little bit different than the CoCo, or is it basically just the CoCo stuff ported? I'm not even sure. Next after that, going back to the Amigos, the formerly referred to as Boat Fest, but now called the International Retro Computer Expo 2026. As tickets available now. So this is John, Aaron, and Brent. This covers everything retro, as I was mentioning before. Consoles, home computers, tabletop electronic games, etc. Definitely more games oriented, though it does cover some hardware stuff as well. I've done presentations there before. They record all of their shows live that particular weekend too, including the CoCo show. So if you want to catch some live stuff, Ken's been there, I've been there, Jason's been there. It's a really good time. They're really friendly guys. Then this is taking place on July 10th to 11th, the Friday and Saturday. Thursday, July the 9th is reserved for vendor setup. And you can order your tickets online, and depending on how many days you want to go, it's prices you can see over here. And get some, nice hospitality from West Virginia. And they got kind of the rough schedule over here too. After that is VCF West, which is August 1st, 2nd at the Computer History Museum in Mountain View, California. Of course, this is right near Silicon Valley. So there's a whole bunch of cool stuff in the museum there. We've got some locals that sometimes come out to there, like Mikey. Tim Linder used to, because he used to live there. Now he lives up closer to Mark, actually, I think, doesn't he?
Yep. Yeah, he does. About an hour north of me, hour and 15. Yeah,
So I'm wondering-
also,
What?
what's his name? Tony, what's his name? He's the Python 3 guy that was looking at doing Python 3 port of Pi Drive Wire. Capolini. Tony Capolini lives there too. I saw him in 2019 when I was there.
Okay.
I
some of them will
frequently
come up.
make it to this one if I happen to be in Silicon Valley at the time.
Well, that'd be cool. Do you usually go just for like attending, or do you actually do exhibits there?
We've taken Copico, we've taken CoCo's there in the past. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I did not realize that.
In the past 4 years, I'm going to say.
Cool. I know Mikey's had some, and I think we even had a demonstration of who did there was a person doing a Dragon and CoCo game that was using one of the sound chip cards that was demoed at the show and written in the UK. I'm trying to remember who did that one though.
That was,
I was there 2 years ago, and there was a really good exhibit of 6800 stuff and earlier, things earlier than the 6809 in the Motorola line and kits and tutorials and things. It was really good.
Yeah, like the original version of Flex ran on that. Yeah.
Steve Bamford.
Right. That's it.
Yeah, we showed off his platformer game. What's it called?
Yeah, we had little stars and stuff. It looks kind of like Mario-like or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very popular. So yeah, and it'll use the audio on the GMC card.
Did that game ever come out?
No, he hasn't ever finished it. I've asked him about it a couple times. He's still kind of on the back burner. So it's not dead, but
that stupid real life thing keeps getting in the way. I know it exactly. What it's like.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it looks so much. It has that very Mario type feel. People just really gravitate toward it.
Yeah. Next up after that is the VCF Midwest. This is the biggest of the VCFs with thousands of people in attendance, and it's in the Chicago area as well. In this case, in Schaumberg, which is actually the home of the very first Rainbow Fest, was also in Schaumberg. And huge new venue. They've been there a couple years now. There's usually a really good CoCo contingent out there because there's quite a few people locally, like from Glenside, et cetera, at the show. Then they have scary things like soldering tutorials. But yeah, this is September the 12th to the 13th at the Schaumburg Convention Center in Schaumburg, Illinois, which is just west of Chicago proper. The people in charge of this actually are also the people that are in charge of our auctions at CoCoFEST, Jason Timmons. So if you've been to CoCoFEST, you'll recognize some of the people that are involved with this. But yeah, from what I've seen, it's an awesome time. I do hope to make it to one of these. Hopefully not too far in the future. Won't be this year, though. After that, we have 10. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's a shame. These things are awesome.
Yeah. Next after that is Tandy Assembly. That's at a new venue as well. It's going to be October 2nd to the 4th this year, the Doubletree by Hilton Hotel at the Cincinnati Airport. So once again, you fly in Cincinnati and the hotel's right there. Previously, they've had in, Springfield, which actually is a separate town 30 miles out or something. So you had to like, book a rental car or something to get out there all the time. This would be much more convenient for people flying in. It's also a much bigger venue, and they were running out of table space last year. And I think they said they have twice as many tables this year. So there's twice as much space available. So hopefully there won't be an overflow of vendors or people getting cutting their stuff short. And then the last one is VCF Montreal 2026 version 2. So the first one was in January, which is like the dead of winter in Canada, probably not the greatest, attraction for people to come up to see. So they decided to do the second one in the beginning of November, which is definitely warmer than January will be.
Yeah, but it ain't exactly balmy.
No, but you might actually have a chance of missing snow, so that'd be good.
Yeah, winter hasn't really broke yet in November.
Anyway, that's from 9 till 3 on Sunday and 9 till 5 on Saturday at the Champlain College, Saint Lambert. I wish Frederick was here to give that French flair to it, to properly pronounce it. And we just saw that, Fabian had a presentation there. Jim Gary had a presentation there. Sockmaster attended the show. So it's cool that they're having another one. It's shifted to a time that's, I think, a bit more palpable for a lot of people. So this is another one I would like to see and actually attend, because I haven't seen Sockmaster since PenFest 2000. So he does occasionally pop onto the Discord chat here and is still very, very knowledgeable. Anyway, that's all the shows we have for now. If there's any that I've missed or any other ones that are CoCo adjacent that we should be putting in here, you can send me an email at curtisboyle@sastel.net or leave a message on the CoCo Discord, and we'll add it to the list.
Yeah, I got some info on that Unisonic Olympian game. It's a dedicated color Pong-style home video game console released in '78. It features 10 built-in games, including tennis, soccer, and shooting, and is notable for having detachable joysticks rather than fixed paddles. It used the General Instruments AR-3-6800 chipset and is considered a rare collectible piece of late 1970s gaming history.
Well, yeah, because most of those Pong games were really, really cheap plastic nothing with that GI chip in them.
Yeah,
and this one was kind of substantial, chrome-plated, nice joysticks.
Yeah, there's a video, and all it comes up is a screen of color with the paddles, and they just named them different things with different functions, but it's just this different color.
But it's a nice one. Where most of them were just cheap,
Yeah, it doesn't even come up with a logo or anything, or say, hey, choose your games or anything. It just comes up.
You just had the GI chip. And that's what it did, and that's what you got, and that was that.
It's pretty fun.
A bit of an update here on Steve Bamford's game from 60 in the chat. He said he showed off the current version at the Dragon meetup that they just had last week or the week before. He said apparently he's virtually started from scratch, and the game has changed somewhat in behavior. Still looks great though. So looking forward to see updates on that. And he says, I think he believed it had gotten too complicated, so he's just bringing back in the fun bits.
Nice.
That
was all a waste of time. Yeah,
the part we saw in 2019 was pretty straightforward. I mean, I guess maybe he kept going off on a tangent or something, but what we saw then looked excellent. It's like, this is playable.
Anyway, that's all I got.
Okay. I think that's what we got for the show.
Not bad. We actually had some information today.
Yep. It's a new games to try out, including that new Star Trek game. So,
okay, back on my desk. Outro.
This concludes another episode of the CoCoNation, the world's leading live interactive talk show featuring the Tandy Color Computer. For all things the CoCoNation, visit us on the web at thecoconation.com. We'd love to hear from you. Send feedback, suggestions, even segments via email to show@thecoconation.com. The CoCoNation show would not exist without the community and its cast and crew. The CoCoNation theme song, copyright 2022, D. Bruce Moore. Mixed, mastered, and produced by D. Bruce Moore. The CoCoNation is over. over. Join us on the CoCo Discord server. CoCo forever.
Okay, one more weekend, then CoCoFEST is afterwards.
It's gonna be a hard week next week.
Yeah,
I got stuff to do, man.
I've got to take off this bear suit.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it must be getting a bit warm there in Australian temperatures.
Yeah, can help you with that here in a sec. I think I know where it is. But yeah, I'll attempt to I don't know, like set up a camera on a tripod and see if I can show the show, or we may just put up old episodes on a screen.
Yeah, or even just the live streams of the seminars. I don't think there's going to be quite as many this year from the sounds of it, but
There's only 3 according to Grant at the last Glenside meeting, which was 2 days ago.
I think I'm one of them, which means I need to write it down.
Write some more stuff. Quick.
Better write something down.
Amongst all the other bugs I'm trying to fix.
Well, okay. I guess we call it done. So till next week.
Bye.
Bye.